Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. Don't wait, no hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out all higher interest debt and lowering your bills by thousands. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharkies. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime and Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Oh, it's perfect, all right.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Your Carolina Hurricanes are taking to the ice this holiday season, and they've got a chance for you to be part of the action. Enter today to win 2 tickets to see the Canes take on the Canadiens on New Year's Day. Register to win at hurricanes.com/radio.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday Monday slowly climbing out of the freezer with high temperatures this afternoon in the upper 30s with plenty of sunshine. Overnight low near 20 degrees, then highs in the upper 40s heading into Tuesday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down just 12 points to 48,445.
Copeland gets it in. Williams for the win. It's no good. Kansas survives by 1 measly point.
He'll throw it for Coker first. On the pitch back. It's on the ground. It's rolling around. Nobody's on it. And now the pile leads to a Saints upset.
He'll come wide down the right wing boards. Coming in, cutting up front. Bussey denies it. And another win for Brandon Bussey.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. My microphone keeps falling. We'll try to get that worked out. I'm Tim Donnelly. Max Gorin producing the show on a Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy CanesMas, everybody. We'll have another CanesMas gift to give away to one of you at 4:45. So keep your phones ready to dial. Again, 4:45. We'll go back to the CanesMas gift giving at 4:15. We'll go back to Monday Soundoff and just open up the phone lines for your takes. And there should be quite a few. Why? Because the Panthers lost to the Saints again. again. Still alive for the postseason, but they've now been swept by the New Orleans Saints. The Carolina Hurricanes apparently are shootout savants. 3 straight games, 3 straight shootouts, 3 straight wins, 4 straight wins overall. Back-to-back shootout wins against Philly. NC State men's basketball showed life, lost to Kansas. UNC men's basketball beat up on a team they should beat up on, as we've been calling them South Carolina upstate. So there's a ton to react to, and we want to hear your reactions, and we'll open up the phone lines for just that at 4:15, a little over an hour from now. So get ready for that. When we prompt you, call in with your takes. Right now, I will prompt Max, our producer, to hit us with the big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
Panthers lose to the Saints 20-17. Gosh, that one hurt. You're ahead 17-7 late in the game. All you have to do is by hook or by crook, by any means necessary, beg, borrow, and steal. You win the game. You are 1 win away from the postseason. Couldn't do it. In a lot of ways, for Bryce Young specifically, it was kind of a reverse Bryce Young game. Play mostly solid football most of the game, and then when you get the ball with the game on the line, one drive to drive down and win it, he couldn't do it. So many times we've seen him play bad football most of the day, and then he gets the ball with the one drive to go and win it, and all of a sudden he plays well. This was the complete inverse of that.
Well, it seemed especially in those late moments, too, the Saints were doing what the Panthers seemingly can't get going on defense, and that is put pressure on the quarterback and get a little bit of pressure and pass rush, where that's been a struggle for the Panthers. It was a struggle last year, and they've shored up a lot of issues on the defensive end of the ball, but still that pass rush seems to elude them, whereas the Saints were putting a lot of pressure on Bryce Young in those late drives, and he had a couple clutch scrambles. He looked good on his feet quite a few times in that game, but man, you really would like to see them come through in that final drive and go get 3 points and win the game.
The play I'll see over and over when I think of this game, I wish it was an unbelievable pass to Coker down the sideline. I wish it was some of those very decisive scramble runs that Bryce had that were super solid decisions. But it's going to be the sack right after the 2-minute drill. 9 yards, really put him behind. That kind of ended up sealing it. And a hint, just a hair, of a faster internal alarm clock might lead to a throwaway, might lead to one of those scrambles and turn a negative into a positive. But instead, it ended up putting the cards kind of stacked against them, and it ended up being the difference. And I know many of you will remember certain referees' calls. Many of you will remember a 4th down where they reverse handoff to the running back, and it didn't end up going for him. There's a lot of things that could have changed it. That's just the one that's going to stick in my mind. Bryce Young, after the game, spoke to the media about the message in the locker room.
Yeah, just turn the page. Again, we have 24 hours. We're going to go back tomorrow. Everyone's going to own it. We have a locker room full of guys who look in the mirror, who want to be better. And, we're going to do that. We're going to grow. And then after that, it's every week we want to go 1-0. That won't change. When we're back during the week, we'll be 0-0, and, it'll be everything we can to focus during the week to give ourselves the best shot.
Goodness. Consistency is an issue with that team. We'll talk about that game more at 3:15. 10 minutes from now, the consistency comes into question. But right now, we have to jump to number 2.
Number 2.
The Carolina Hurricanes beat Philadelphia in back-to-back shootouts. Now, there is a bit of glass half full, glass half empty, right? Because they had the leads, right? Couldn't protect them and need the shootout to come back for the win. And I was kind of floating this out there, the Canes have so often, and Canes fans and myself and others, I think, have rightfully so downplayed the outcome of shootouts, because you can't decide a playoff game in a shootout, because it's quote-unquote the skills competition, because it's unlike so many other of the skills that actually lead to good hockey, that if the Canes would have lost 3 straight shootouts, we'd be sitting here saying, well, they're actually playing pretty good, right? They're getting all the way to the end. It's not as bad as 3 straight losses. So I think we kind of have to put that on the wins as well. Just because now you're coming out on the other side and guys are finding a way to put it in the back of the net, and Bussy and Kochekov and Net are doing all right. It's like, look at this. Look at all these consecutive wins. Well, you just got better at a skills competition. If you want to be excited about something rather than the 4-game win streak, be excited about Brandon Bussy. Where in the heck did this guy come from? And thank whoever you think that the previous teams couldn't recognize his potential, because picking him up off waivers is crazy.
It's been miraculous. I mean, coming into the year, they're going with the Freddie Anderson Kochekov tandem again, and for better or worse, they end up with this guy picking him up off waivers. They thought Caden Primo was going to be the third goaltender. Well, he gets picked up off waivers. They're like, well, we need somebody. And that somebody turns out to be Brandon Bussy, and then he turns out to be, through the first 12 games of his career, the most successful goaltender to this point of anyone who's ever set foot on NHL ice. It's crazy. Yeah. Sometimes, it's like found money. Sometimes you just get lucky, and that's okay.
It's better than found money. It's like found money's a 20 in the jacket you haven't worn since last winter. This is like found Bitcoin from 2010.
Yeah, found Honus Wagner baseball card in your grandpa's old stuff.
It's this is some antique roadshow stuff. You're showing up with a watch your grandpa left you. Turns out it's worth $1.2 million. Like, this is an unreal. Like, we're dancing around it, and I think rightfully so, because it sounds ridiculous to say, right? The most successful through 12 starts, or the most wins through 12. You could draw up an argument that he's been the best goalie in NHL history through 12 starts. Now, it sounds ridiculous to say, and it probably is ridiculous to say, but you could, just looking at the outcomes, you could say it. Rod Brindamore, after the most recent game, talked about the key saves of Brandon Bussy.
Not so much early. I thought we had a really good 2 periods. We didn't get enough, leeway, enough lead in there, and then obviously they got the late one. But I thought in the third period, especially, he was, like you said, countless really, really timely saves, and obviously in the shootout, I don't know, that's pretty impressive.
Timeliness of his saves is important, but also he's just making the saves. Right at first, even I tried to bend myself into the logic pretzels of, it's really about timing the saves and bailing your guys out when they need to be bailed out. He's just playing good hockey right now.
Yeah, he's just making a lot of saves.
Yeah, he's not allowing many goals, and he's allowing even less soft goals. I will greatly anticipate finding out what he's made of between the years when things go south, and how he can bounce back from the first bad game we see him play. I don't think he's going to be the first goalie in NHL history to go a career without having to struggle. But that's really the last frontier. That's the last thing we don't know about this guy, because everything else he's shown at least capable of doing.
Oh, yeah. Brandon Bussy, by the way, through this point, among qualified goaltenders, second lowest goals against average in the league, behind only Jesper Wallstedt of Minnesota. And he is also
and Wallstedt made half those saves against the Canes.
Yeah, exactly. And then 13th in the league so far in save percentage, one spot ahead of just this guy you may have heard of called Igor Shesterkin. So just to put a little context statistically to what he's done so far, Wallstedt, by the way, also the leader in save percentage. He's at .937 save percentage this year. That is ridiculous.
Again, I understand the ridiculousness of putting him in conversations with guys like Max just included, but those are numbers. That's not us saying it. That's numbers telling us. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
NC State men's basketball had an opportunity for a big win over the weekend. Lost to Kansas in overtime 77-76. You'll hear me say this throughout the show. It feels disappointing, and that's of NC State's doing. Because if Will Wade hadn't promised so much, hadn't promised NCAA tournament berths, hadn't promised being one of the top teams in the ACC, hadn't promised big wins and win now and all of these things that he guaranteed, taking a top 20 team to overtime in the first year under a new coach with a bunch of new players, that's actually kind of good, right? If there weren't these outsized expectations set, we'd be sitting here trying to shoehorn away into this being actually a positive. And look at this. The 4 starters that they lean on played heavy minutes and all scored, and they actually weren't very efficient offensively, yet they found a way to do all the little things enough to go to overtime against Kansas, who shot higher percentages from 3, shot higher percentages from the floor, and bring a certain amount of talent, although they were dealing with guys going in and out of the lineup with injuries. It's the disappointment is of their own doing. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, okay? I'm just saying the disappointment is their choosing. You know, you can say the standard is the standard. You can go full Mike Tomlin. The standard is the standard and say we should be disappointed if we go through our non-conference schedule without knocking off a couple of these big dogs that we schedule. We should be disappointed. That would be a level up for the program. But it didn't have to be this way. Right, you get a little leash when you're taking over a new program, and they declined it. They said no, thank you on the leeway. So because of that, losing to Kansas in overtime felt like, ooh, no, they didn't get any of their non-conference big wins, did they?
Yeah, it was honestly, it was just kind of a ridiculous game. Melvin Council came into the game shooting 18.5% from 3 this season. He made 9 of them and scored 36 points. Darren Peterson was hurt late in the game, sat down for a lot of the clutch time minutes there at the very end. They got Badunga in foul trouble really early. He had 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes, and NC State just could not make a three-pointer in the first half. They struggled to make shots. If a couple of those go down, maybe they're able to get the win. But, yeah, the non-conference resume is not looking stellar. I will say Boise State picked up a huge win against St. Mary's last night. So that's currently NC State's only quad 1 win at this point. There should be plenty of opportunities in the ACC as of now because it looks like there's been a bit of a resurgence in terms of ACC basketball raising its level. But, yeah, I mean, got to avoid losing these last 2. They've got the Reynolds game against Texas Southern this week, and then they'll play against Ole Miss in Greensboro on Sunday, and then it's on to ACC play for NC State. So got to stay locked in and try to pick up some of those quad 1 wins when you get to conference play.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9. The Fan will be back. With the Panthers losing to the Saints, we'll grieve together. It's a brutal loss. Stick around. Coming up next.
Excuse me, garçon. I'll pick up the tab for the lady and I.
Sir, this is Monopoly money.
And there's more where that came from.
I'm calling the cops.
Don't waste your time. I have a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Start playing for real money. New Monopoly scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have real cash wins of up to $1 million. Monopoly is a trademark of Hasbro. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.83 to 4.28. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Adam Golden, studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Are you coming here because you're going to put my Christmas tree up?
I wish. No, I'm coming here just to say happy holidays to all of our customers, and thank you so much for this business for this year. We've done great, and it's been a great year, and just want to say thank you to all the folks out there that have done business with us this year.
Has it been a more difficult year? Has the weather been unusually bad? Is Santa going to be mad?
I don't think so. I think we've had a great year. Again, that's just a testament to our customers. They're loyal. We have a lot of customers, and we're just here to say thank you.
Santa's going to land on a lot of new roofs that you guys have put up.
And we can repair them. That's the perfect part of that.
Who else do you want to give a Merry Christmas wish to?
Our customers and our employees as well. Everybody in the office that makes it happen. Sammy, who makes it happen for us every day. So
I'm sure he gets all the Christmas wishes. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com online. Free no obligation estimate there. Patrick Day's there.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Tremble in motion, snap, give to Dowdle. Jump cut, fighting forward across the two. Toward the goal line, touchdown, Carolina. Rico Dowdle pins the opening drive with a 4-yard touchdown run.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Panthers lost to the Saints, 20-17. It was later than usual on Sunday, a little 4:25 start rather than the 1 o'clock start. Maybe that's the difference, but who knows?
Bryce Young still yet to win a game after the 1 o'clock slate in his
Is
career.
that true? He's never won even the 4:25.
Yep.
Wow. I was unaware of that. If you have takes on that game, on the Panthers as a whole, on Bryce Young, or on the Canes, or on Brandon Bussey, or on college basketball, at 4:15, about an hour from now, we'll open up the phone lines for a little Monday Soundoff. We'll encourage you to join the show. So you can bookmark this phone number now, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Bookmark that now. Don't call in now. We'll let you know when to call. But that's at 4:15. In the meantime, Panthers lose to the Saints. The number one story for the Panthers this year, without being super overreacting to one game, right? Because you watch that one game, you might think, the defense and prevents on single drives to save the game is the problem. Or you might think the pass rush, which has been a long-term deal. I boil it down to this. It is a lack of consistency that is the story of the season. Just look at the last, 6 games? The awful. Actually, you go back even one more, right? Because it was an ugly win, but it was a win against the Jets. Then an awful loss without Bryce Young to the Bills, lost by $1 billion. A gritty win in Lambeau, where your defense bends but doesn't break and you win 16-13. An awful loss to the New Orleans Saints where the wheels fell off. An incredible win where you throw for a franchise record in passing yards against Atlanta. An awful loss on Monday Night Football to San Francisco. The best win of the season against the Rams. Now an awful loss to the Saints with the world at your fingertips. It is metronomic. It is awful, great, awful, great, awful, great, week in and week out, and you can't play that way. You're not good enough to play that way. And it makes the awful more frustrating because you just showed what you had in you. I'm not exaggerating when I say if you probably gave 70% of the game you played against the Rams, against the Saints, you win by 2 scores. You win by 12. With 70% of the game it took for you to stare down Matt Stafford and Puka and that crew and come away with a win, you didn't have to reinvent the wheel. You didn't have to reinvent yourself. You just had to play well. And we're going to focus on some of the undisciplined stuff that the team dealt with, some of the penalties that they were called for, some of the lackadaisical focus, right? Like there's a pretty high-profile drop from Teterow and McMillan. He's good for one focus drop a game, but you throw in the fact that the ball was a little off target and you realize that there's like 10 things that people could have done 1% better on that play, and it might have been a touchdown. If the ball is a little bit more accurate, if the receiver's a little bit more focused, if the offensive line had given Bryce Young more time throughout the game, so maybe he's a little bit more comfortable, right? Just if the play call had been a little bit whatever, if all of that plays in, right? We can find a million things and we'll try, but the fact of the matter is you go back and look at the losses that I've talked about, what they weren't good at today was different than what they weren't good at last time they lost to the Saints. What they weren't good at on Monday Night Football against the Niners was different than what they weren't good at when they got smoked by Buffalo. It is an inconsistent thing throughout. I can understand if there's something you just don't have. It's just not on the cards. Right? If your offensive line is small and they get bullied by bigger defensive linemen, and I'm just making something up here, and every time you face a big, strong defensive line, it's like we don't have the answer. That's one thing. But when you have all of these frustrating losses where if you just turn one of them, your entire season is different. When you have all of these terrible losses and there's all of these different reasons, that's so much more frustrating because that's not like, oh, you throw your palms to the air. Right, that's not a basketball team that doesn't have a 7-footer. And just like every time we face a 7-footer, it's going to be really hard for us. That's just like there's a reason. Like every time we have a bad performance, X is the reason. But for the Panthers, X is the reason sometimes, Q is the reason sometimes, W is the reason sometimes. It's always something different. Here's Bryce Young after the game on what led to the undisciplined play.
Yeah, we pride ourselves in playing smart, and again, a lot of penalty yards. That as a leader, I take accountability for that. We want to make sure that we're playing clean, we're playing smart. Whether it's something we can get better at in practice, whatever it may be. Again, I have full faith in everyone. Again, that's not our style of ball, but you got to turn the page. Again, for me, I take that accountability. We want to play clean, but again, it is what it is.
11 penalties for 103 yards. That's a lot of penalties. Now, thankfully, the Saints were giving them away as well. The refs, you can complain about the refs, right? That's what fans do. There were bad calls going both ways. I mean, here's what it all boils down to. There's a lot of things that I would have done differently, but it will seem nitpicky. The fourth down that they weren't able to achieve. I hate taking a quarterback and making him reverse pivot, meaning open to his right and hand it off to a a running back going left, because it adds a timing element, right? The running back can't fly downhill in case he gets there too early before the quarterback has been able to spin around. It seems really, really small, but if you have him on the front side, or if you do a quarterback sneak, even if it's not the quarterback, if you have a tight end that can take a snap, it is get the ball downhill right now. There's no hesitancy. There's no hesitation.
I would like to, if it's going to be one of those short yardage plays, like if you're going to go to one of your running backs, go to the bigger, like more powerful guy that is going to be harder to deny than your kind of smaller, speedier guy, but that's just me.
Again, we can nitpick there. Or similarly, right, people are really getting on Evero for playing more conservatively in the drive that ended up being the game-winning field goal drive for the Saints. Less than a minute, they went 60-something yards. Tyler Shuck, just found Olave all day in the last couple of drives. I wouldn't do it, but there is logic to making the rookie quarterback beat you through the air and complete a whole bunch of passes and waiting for him to make a mistake. Now, I would have tried to rattle that rookie quarterback a bit more by sending some pressures, disguising a bit more, and throwing some exotic blitzes, but that's inherently just stylistic differences. That's inherently just like personality differences. So rather than sitting here, as we could do, right, we would be well within our rights as fans to just nitpick every single decision down to what we would have done or not have done. And I don't think it's all 20/20 hindsight unfair stuff, because I think if you ask a lot of us before the play on fourth down, we wouldn't have drawn up that particular run. Or what you'd asked us before those last couple of drives, what we'd do on defense, we wouldn't be saying what they ended up doing. But really, it's just an execution and consistency thing. It's just an execution and consistency thing. It's putting your best on the field as often as possible, and they've basically been 50% since they became contenders. You can't lose to the Saints, and I'm not disrespecting the Saints. The Saints aren't like they're an NFL team. They get paid too.
They've been playing some decent ball lately.
They're improving. They're getting better. They're ruining their draft stock. Like they're doing the things that professionals do. But if you want to be a playoff team, you can't lose to the Saints. Then now you all of a sudden you're backed into a corner again, and you got to beat the Bucs twice, or at least beat them once and get to all the tiebreakers. I don't know how all the tiebreakers break down.
That basically the Bucs would have to lose to the Dolphins
if
you only beat them once.
Let's go Waddle, who's playing tonight, by the way, so we'll see how that goes. My point is this. Hopefully, as I've been saying all year, playing in meaningful football in December, whether they end up in the postseason or not, will teach the Panthers the valuable lessons that will make them more likely contenders next year and beyond. The lesson to learn this year, the thing that should stick with them through every offseason workout, is being a contender can't be a sometimes thing. It has to be you show up the same way against the Rams and the Packers and whoever, the same way you show up against the Saints and the teams that are supposedly below you. It's crazy that teams are below you. It's crazy that you would think of teams being below you based on where you've been. But If you play like you play against the Rams, we're having a completely different conversation here today. And we're probably booking travel for the playoffs. And yes, I understand that I am completely incapable. It's against my will. Every time I say playoffs, my voice cracks like I'm Jim Morris Sr. Playoffs. Playoffs.
So we can win a game against the Saints.
Yeah. No, that's not happening this year. 0 for 2. That's a guarantee. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the Dean's List and 2 minutes of gold, all about the Canes overtime shootout win last night over the Philadelphia Flyers. So that's coming up next. And Monday, Soundoff at 4:15. Still a lot to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent Trane dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Hello, I'm John Heister for John Heister Chevrolet in Fuquay Arena. You know, people are asking us, how are you selling so many cars all of a sudden? Well, did you know that the Beltline has opened up the outer loop? We're only 28 minutes from Knightdale. We're only 19 minutes from Clayton and 15 minutes from Apex. We're now the most convenient Chevrolet dealership to reach in the Triangle. It's just one more reason to get off your keister and come to Heister.
Now at John Heister Chevrolet, get $10,000 off a new 2026 Silverado 1500. See dealer for details. Together, let's drive.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-511-5493. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-511-5493. That's 800-511-5493. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Welcome home. Your home is more than just walls and windows. It's where your story unfolds. At Baker Home Exteriors, we understand that every detail helps write that story. For over a century, our parent company, Baker Roofing, has set the standard for excellence, and now we're bringing that same dedication to your home. From roofing and siding to windows, gutters, and more, our craftsmen transform houses into the sanctuaries you've always imagined. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com to begin your home's next chapter.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Midway through December, by the way. It is December 15th, which feels like a good time to check up on things like the NHL standings, things like the Eastern Conference standings, where Carolina Hurricanes are alone at the top. 44 points, 3 clear of the Islanders. Caps, remember when the Canes played the Caps not long ago, and it was the winner takes the – well, they've fallen all the way to third. Still a long way to go.
Tricky team, the Capitals. I'm still not very convinced that they're all that good. I think they just have a good goalie.
Well, that goes a long way. That's – I'm not going to disagree with you, but if you got a goalie that's playing well, as Brandon Bussey has shown, it can completely change everything. What did Andrei Svechnikov say after the game? When the goalie's playing well, it makes everything easier. I'm paraphrasing. That's basically what he said. I think that's true for every team, not just the Canes. Speaking of the Canes, they did beat Philly twice over the weekend, both in shootouts, including yesterday. And because of that, we have 2 minutes of gold with our very own Adam Gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 goalies and 2 players that helped Carolina get 4 points. I hope I'm not breaking a rule. And it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep. They will help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve. It was a shootout weekend as Carolina played an old school home and home with the Philadelphia Flyers. There Saturday, here Sunday. Both games ended the same way in the skills competition, which, theoretically, Carolina has not been great at of late. This year, however, a different story, and it started in Philadelphia. Pyotr Kochetkov in the 4th inning going old school.
Brink, he'll pick it up. He'll slow down as he crosses over the Canes blue line. Top of the circle. Now he goes in fast. And Kochetkov! He knocks it away.
Old school. And then it was up to Jackson Blake to finish it off.
Blake coming in on Harrison. On the forehand, back in front. He scores! Jackson Blake wins it in the shootout. And the Canes get the extra point, and they'll take a 4-3 victory here in Philadelphia.
Next night, new goalie, same 2 teams, same way it ends. Carolina at home in the shootout, batting second, Andrei Svechnikov.
Here comes Andrei Svechnikov. Lifting in, going to the backhand and scores! He roasts a beauty! And the Canes have the 1-0 lead in the shootout.
He made it look so easy, makes you wonder why he doesn't score all the time. He said he had missed like the last 10 or 12 or whatever. Andre probably doesn't know. Anyway, it was up to Brandon Bussey to slam the door on Matvei Mishkov.
Mishkov will pick it up with speed on Bussey. He'll come wide down the right wing boards, coming in, cutting in front. Bussey denies it, and another win for Brandon Bussey. His 9th in a row. He goes to 11-0. He's been perfect in the shootouts, and the Canes are perfect against the Metro. 4 games in 4 tries and 4 wins.
Made it look easy, celebrated, actually a little bit like Peter Mrazek, if you remember the Mrazek celebration. Anyway, the Hurricanes in the skills competition get 4 points, well clear now in the Metro. They have won 4 in a row, 3 by shootouts. First time in franchise history they have ever won 3 consecutive games in the shootout. It's incredible. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health, Soundoff. For more shootouts? I don't even like the shootout, to be honest.
That's 2 minutes of gold with our very own Adam Gold. All about the Canes' win and other win over the weekend against the Flyers in the shootout. With that being said, it is time to jump into the Dean's List. There it is. Classes in session, Dean's List, highlighting those in the college sports world that we care so much about here in the Triangle. We'll start with one, and there's a lot to react to today, so I don't know if we'll get as much time to talk about UNC over USC Upstate as we'd like. So it could have been Caleb Wilson, another 20-10, ho-hum, super efficient. Could have been Henry Vasar, another good day, good rebounding day. They won by, 19. But I'm going Jonathan Powell off the bench for UNC. Transfer from West Virginia. Averages about 5 points per game this year for UNC. Had 17 points on 6 of 9 shooting when 50% from 3. There are minutes, I imagine, to be had on the perimeter for UNC. Luka Bogovic is going to play. He had a good day, right? I think he had like 15, 5, and 5. So he could have been on this list. But outside of that, there are minutes to be had on the perimeter, especially before Seth Trimble returns. Huge minutes. I think it was like 23, 24 minutes apiece for Kyan Evans, Derek Dixon. While their responsibilities are different being a point guard, right, getting everybody else where they're supposed to be. Not a ton of production. So if you come off the bench and you knock down threes, that spacing is going to give you more and more and more minutes. So Powell might be playing his way into a slightly bigger role. More Dean's List. How about this? Right, I like to root for the guys that play at a school we cover and transfer out just because it didn't work here, might be better for everybody else. Shake hands, go in different directions, right? Dennis Parker Jr., former NC State. At one point in time, before he dealt with an injury or illness and a few other things, I thought he was going to be a big part of the future of NC State. He's at Radford now. He played Coppin State. Radford and Coppin State dueled over the weekend. Dennis Parker had 53 points. I'm going to say that again. 53 points. And the crazy part is he did on just 24 shots. 10 of 14 from 3, 19 of 24 overall. Also had 8 rebounds. I believe 53 is the most by a college player in like multiple years. So
they call that ethical hoops with those percentages.
Yeah, that's like, oh, is it a blowout? I don't care if if you only took 24 shots, nobody's running up the score. You're just making every shot you take. Dennis Parker Jr., former NC. I mean, maybe they'll regret it a little bit, but going to Radford, lighten it up. Way to go, DPJ. I don't know if anyone calls him that. Max, do you have any Dean's Listers you'd like to throw out here?
Yeah, I've got a couple. One I'll give to Bryce Sanford from Nebraska. I don't know if you saw Saturday they were playing against Illinois on the road. He had 26 points in the first half, 6 3-pointers, was 10 for 13, ended up finishing with 32, and they went on the road and beat Illinois. They're off to a really good start this year in Nebraska. Another one I wanted to give is Ryan Stubblefield from South Carolina State. The Celebration Bowl was on Saturday. South Carolina State went down 21-0 in the first half. Stubblefield comes in. He's the backup quarterback for South Carolina State. Ends up leading them into overtime. It goes to 4 overtimes.
Oh, wow.
And they pull out the win against Prairie View A&M. So it was a heck of a game to kind of kick off bowl season. And just a great performance by him in relief to go in there and get the win to finish off the season in the Celebration Bowl. So Ryan Stubblefield makes the Dean's List for me.
I set you up. I thought your Dean's List would be where you're going tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I laid out
well,
because I knew you were going to be there.
I've used it for the Dean's List like the last 3 times we were on the show. I was on the show
That's why I
last week.
But yeah, NC State, right back to
it. And it's great. I don't even have to change the logo in the background. But NC State is playing in the College Cup National Championship game tonight in Cary.
Talking soccer.
First Horizon Stadium, I believe it's called now, but many know it as Wake Med Soccer Park. They're taking on Washington. They got the win on Friday night. It was a pretty exciting game. Got 2 goals late to defeat, St. Louis on Friday. So now they'll face Washington for the national championship, just like 10 minutes away from campus, too. So it's going to be cold, but it is going to be packed out with NC State fans, and I will be there trying to maintain feeling in my extremities as I hopefully see NC State secure a national championship. First men's team national championship it would be since the 1983 basketball title.
It is such a gift for soccer players that they can wear like gloves and everything to stay. Their whole upper body can be wrapped up, right? They don't wear hats and things.
They should wear parkas instead of jerseys.
Yeah, you don't. There's really, I mean, as long as you got cleats, you can be wearing sweatpants and everything. I don't know what the uniform rules are, but my point is, when other sports got to keep your hands a little more textile, a little bit more, available.
I did want to quickly throw in one more. You mentioned rooting for players that play in the area and transfer out. Casey Concepcion, he took home an award for the Paul Hornung Award for the most versatile player in college football for Texas A&M this year. So we'll add him in there as well.
Pretty good returner. Obviously had some big moments for Texas A&M as a receiver as well. Still playing in the CFP. Last one here. This will be quick just because it's a Canes prospect. Justin Poirier, I believe is his name. He is a freshman at Maine, University of Maine. He is, as I mentioned, a Canes prospect, so they own his rights. He is the only Hockey East, which is their conference, player to score 17 goals in their first 19 career games over the last 20 years. And the reason why I think it's cool is, so it popped up on my social media feed, but what it said was, Justin Poirier is the only Hockey East player to score 16 goals in their first 19 career games over the last 20 years. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But obviously, the algorithm sensed me reading it and saying that's cool. So then when he scored again later on in the very same game, they sent me the exact same tweet, just now it's up to 17 goals. So maybe there's a hidden goal scorer for the Carolina Hurricanes just, up there in Black Bear country near, I don't know, Arano, Maine? I don't know. Played there, didn't play well, so I like to block out that whole part of my memory. Shout out to the Maine Black Bears. And that'll do it for the Dean's List. Don't forget, we have Monday Soundoff coming up at 4:15, so be ready with your takes. But before that, we have to hit winners and losers. Who's winning? Who's losing in the sports world? Stick around.
The best financial move you can make this time of year? How about lowering your mortgage rates to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rate in years? How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home equity in the process? You can do it now by calling Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. Don't wait, no hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out all higher interest debt and lowering your bills by thousands. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Here's Brandon with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Tired of waiting for a sleep treatment? At other sleep centers, it can take 6 to 8 months just to get an appointment and cost you thousands more. Not Parkway Sleep Health Centers. We schedule you within weeks and we'll save you money too. We have over 20 years of experience serving the Triangle. Let our expert team help you sleep better sooner.
End your sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
You know how to tell that you've picked a great gift? When you love to get it yourself. Hey, what do you say? John Forslund here with a great idea. Give Buffalo Brothers gift cards. Whenever I'm back in the Triangle, I make a beeline for Buffalo Brothers to get my wing fix, and it's my go-to spot for gifts and stocking stuffers. Now through December 24th, buy a $40 gift card for someone special and get a $10 gift card for you. Now that's a deal, baby. Visit any of their 5 Triangle locations and buffbrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Hey guys, this is Marcy Bailey from Bailey's Fine Jewelry, and we know that you want to get your wife or girlfriend something special this Christmas, but sometimes you just don't know what to get. You wonder, what will she like? What will make her feel special? What will make her say, wow? At Bailey's Fine Jewelry, we have experts that are here to help. We specialize in making you look like a hero. You can even send her in to make a wish list that we keep on file to help make your life just a little bit easier. Bailey's has the largest selection of jewelry in North Carolina, including designers like David Yurman, Lagos, Marco Biccigo, and Apolita, as well as beautifully curated Bailey's collections. And don't fret, because if for some reason she doesn't love your gift, we have a 30-day return policy. Our goal is to be your go-to jeweler for life. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, located in Raleigh's Village District, Cary's Fenton, also in Rocky Mount, Greenville, and Charlotte. Every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll have to push winners and losers here just a couple of minutes. It's not breaking news, so don't fire the sounder. But it's breaking maybe news. It's breaking, hey, we'll look out, there might be some breaking news. John Talty doing the reporting. He is a national college sports reporter for CBS Sports. He reports that sources have told CBS Sports that Duke quarterback Darian Mensah is considering entering the NFL draft. Mensah, according to Talty, has gotten very good NFL feedback and projects as an early round draft pick. While other schools have inquired, Duke fans will like to hear this, Mensah is only considering the NFL or a return to Duke. So there's a lot to unpack here. I'll try to do it as quickly as we can. One, only considering the NFL or a return to Duke is interesting because remember where Darian Mensah came from. Tulane. Remember who his coach was at Tulane? John Sumrall. Remember where John Sumrall just took the job? Florida. Earlier today, DJ Lagway, the starter and former all-world recruit for Florida, announced he's going into the transfer portal. So Florida will be in the market for a starting quarterback, and there would have at least been some logic that they would come poking around Darian Mensah, considering the relationship between Sumrall and Mensah from Tulane. So only considering NFL or Duke, that's good for Duke. The NFL becomes interesting for this reason. It is a down year for NFL quarterbacks in the draft, right? Mendoza, who, by the way, has not declared for the NFL draft and does have eligibility if Indiana can fundraise a boatload of money, have to be outlandish. But, Heisman Trophy winner, it seems like he's going to go pro. He's the projected top guy. Then there's a handful of players who may or may not go pro. Like Dante Moore from Oregon, expected to be a high draft pick if he declares, but also there's a lot of buzz around him going back to Oregon. And that seems to be like the big kind of idea around all of the next guys. And certain others have fallen off, right? The Garrett Nussmeyers, the Drew Allers, some of these, the Norris Sellers, some of these guys that were seen as big-time prospects coming into the year have fallen off to where they're either returning or nowhere near a projected top pick due to injury, play, and otherwise. So if like a John Mateer from Oklahoma after the CFP commits, does Darian Mensah or does the league think Darian Mensah gets drafted over him? I think there's a decent possibility there.
I'm a big fan of Darian Mensah's NFL prospects. I think he is going to be a pleasant surprise. If he's not taken up at the top, it's going to be someone that maybe was under the radar for a lot of people just because, he plays at Duke and nationally their football profile may not be the, biggest and most well-known, but I like a lot about his game. He's a very confident passer. He's not afraid to let that thing fly, and that kind of confidence is key in, picking up a young quarterback like that.
If he wants to get drafted as high as he possibly can, this might be the year to jump because of the weak class around him. And there are some, the Julian Sayans, obviously maybe an Arch Manning, although we've ridden that roller coaster. Some other guys might be more inclined next year to be in the class, and then, he could have a good year and still fall below where he would be drafted this year. So, those are business decisions that have to be made. But according to CBS Sports, he is kind of making them. He's considering the NFL draft. And while other schools have inquired, according to CBS Sports, Mensah is only considering the NFL or a return to Duke. So it's like 50-50 good news, bad news for Duke there. With that being said, now that we've discussed the breaking almost news, let's get some quick winners and losers in.
This team will never lose again.
Winner, Phillip Rivers. Now, I know they didn't actually win, but the member of the 2000 NC State recruiting class, you're saying 2000 and what? No, he was a member of the 2000 NC State football recruiting class, walked off the field with less than a minute left, and his team had the lead in an NFL game at 44 years old, 5 years after the last time he played. And, at least by the eye test, no major injuries for the old man. They lost to the Seahawks, but still. He got to go ahead and do the whole motivational speech thing in the postgame. Let's hear from Phillip Rivers on the message he can send to younger people. Phillip, do we have you?
This isn't why I'm doing it again. This is really, I know it comes with it, and I know it is a story, and I know it is rare, and all those things. But I didn't do that. I wasn't searching. I was enjoying myself, kind of down there being coach in South Alabama. But these kind of things don't come up. But obviously, this doesn't come up every day. But I think maybe, maybe it will. I don't know, inspire or teach. To not to run or be scared of what may or may not happen. Hopefully, certainly I think of my sons and those ball players, that I'm in charge of at the school, that they'll say, like, crap, coach wasn't scared. You know what I mean? It's like, shoot, sometimes there is doubt, and it's real. And again, you can the guaranteed safe bet is to go home or to not go for it. And the other one is, shoot, let's see what happens. And so, I hope that in that sense that it can be a positive to some young boys, or young people. It doesn't have to be boys, but again, that's not the motivation.
Oh, Phillip. He didn't play unbelievable, but he played. So he's a winner.
And he's going to start next week.
So we'll see how it goes. Loser, Diego Pavia. Not for not winning the Heisman, right? He lost the Heisman to Fernando Mendoza. We're talking about the Vanderbilt quarterback. But for just about everything he did after losing the Heisman, for saying bleep the voters, for the parties, for the words, for everything he apologized for today, it's just, you got to be good in all situations, and he was not.
And his apology he put out, most people have pointed out, it looks like it was written by ChatGPT.
Hey, you know what? He doesn't have to be a wordsmith. There's a lot of things I get upset about. Who cares if AI wrote your apology? As long as you meant what it said. Do you have any winners and losers you'd like to throw in here?
Yeah, we'll throw a couple hockey ones out there. Winner is definitely the Minnesota Wild. They trade for Quinn Hughes on Friday night. Just one of those standard NHL random blockbusters that happens on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminds you of the Mikko Rantanen trade from last year for the Hurricanes. And somebody that the Hurricanes were kind of in on when Quinn Hughes. Has been reported that they had a decent offer on the table. It's not exactly confirmed what it was, but they apparently had a strong offer. But Vancouver does get back 4 first-round assets. They got a first-round pick, as well as Zeev Boyum, Liam Ogren, and Marco Rossi. So Quinn Hughes moves on from Vancouver, goes to Minnesota. He actually had his debut yesterday, was looking pretty good. Same vein, in the hockey world, loser, Kevin Adams. Former Buffalo GM as of today, was replaced by Jarmo Kekalainen. And the loser is really the Hurricanes fans, because if they had done this a week or two earlier, he may have been able to come attend the 2006 anniversary celebration, but unfortunately that has passed, and now it seems
would have been really nice if you thought about us in timing.
It was all for naught. Buffalo didn't even think about that. So Kevin Adams, so hopefully Buffalo can kind of get things going in the right direction. It's been 14 or 15 years now with no playoffs up there, so, and they're not off to a great start this year either. But yeah, Kevin Adams, unfortunately relieved of his duties.
How about a loser, the fans that wanted Quinn Hughes in Carolina, because it ain't happening now. And also, you brought it up, like Minnesota, they got themselves Quinn Hughes. They had to give up a bunch. Zeev, their young stud, Marco Rossi, you brought up the rest of the package, first-round pick. To put up the equal of that of the Carolina Hurricanes, I think there would have been some upset fans to match that, because there would be some fan favorites included. But neither here nor there, we'll move on. Winner, we talked about him. The Tulane coach going to Florida, John Sumrall. Listen, so much of what the Lane Kiffin situation, everything that he's botched a million different ways, people blame it on the system. Well, it's the calendar, and it's this, and it's that, and coaches are forced to. John Sumrall's doing it the right way. He donated, I don't know if everybody saw this, he and his family donated $100,000 to Tulane's talent fund, their kind of NIL today, which means, like, yeah, I care about Tulane. I'm doubling my salary going to Florida. I appreciate everything you've done with it, and I'm going to let you have some of the benefit there, and we're going to try to win in the CFP and go from there. I'm not going to abandon you. I'm not going to take all my assistants and run and leave. You can be, and I don't know, John Sumrall, maybe he's not a good guy behind closed doors. Who knows? But you can handle things the right way. And I think that's a lesson for everybody. No matter what difficult situation you're in, you can handle it as a human. So John Sumrall is a winner, even if they lose by a bunch. More winners and losers. We'll start with the loser. Loser, Pat Mahomes. Pop goes the ACL, although there were some good reports today that it's, isolated ACL and all the other knee ligaments kind of remained unscathed. There's a viral idea going around about his career mirroring Brady's, because year 9, they've now both torn their knee up, both coming off a year when they tore their knee up that they had lost the Super Bowl the year before. They both had 3 Super Bowls in their first 8 years, and there's some spooky stuff. There's one big difference, though. The Patriots missed the playoffs because Brady got hurt very early in the season. The Chiefs missed the playoffs, and then Mahomes got hurt. Listen, you can still think Mahomes is on a better trajectory or he's more impressive, whatever. They're not apples to apples knee injuries in year 9. So
although,
let's just call a spade a spade.
Those Patriot defenses were a lot better than this year's Chiefs defense.
Like I said, you can have your context elsewhere. Don't act like the knee injuries are this. Oh, good. It's almost like, good thing he hurt his knee because that's why they didn't make the play. They already not made the playoffs.
Another loser in that same vein, too, Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Just pretty much within probably 30, 45 minutes of each other yesterday afternoon, another ACL injury. Or was his an Achilles?
No, I believe it was a knee. I don't know.
Just another brutal knee injury, and he'll be out for the year. So that's a tough one for the Cheeseheads.
I was still holding out hope for my I had a ticket on Micah Parsons Defensive Player of the Year. So I know it's going to be Myles Garrett, but some of the advanced analytics say Micah's been having a better season. More impactful overall. Less sacks, though. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So I guess I'm a loser for losing that one. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4 is up next. The Panthers lose to the Saints, 20-17. You know who we have to ask about. What does it say about Bryce Young? Stick around.
99.9 The Fan is partnering with the Salvation Army of Wake County for Team Up to Give.
We cheer together, we celebrate together.
And when our neighbors are struggling, we step up together.
Across Wake County, more of our neighbors continue to face nights without a safe place to sleep.
Your gift could be the one that turns the tide for a family in crisis.
So team up with us. Together we can make sure no one is forgotten. Team up, give hope, change lives.
Text GIVE to 919-860-5326 or go to teamuptogive.com to donate.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Sammy Hanna, owner-operator of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Are you feeling the spirit of the holiday, sir?
We love the holidays, Adam, and we are feeling the spirit. It's been a great year. Just want to thank everybody out there, our listeners, our homeowners, our employees, everyone involved that makes the Aluminum Company great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Or do you get the sense that people ask for like green or red siding during this time of the year?
We have not gotten a request for green or red siding, but that is something we can always try and accommodate. We're here to help our homeowners with any concern they want to do.
You can do green or red metal roofing.
We can. Yes, we can.
Do they ever stripe it like green and then red and then green and then red?
We have not had that request yet, Adam, but we are here to accommodate any homeowner request.
Sometimes you just really feel the spirit of the holiday.
And we can accommodate.
Happy holidays to you. Thank you very much for all you do for us, for sponsoring my hockey podcast.
Happy holidays.
Appreciate
and
that. AluminumCompany.com.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months. No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade? Your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday Monday slowly climbing out of the freezer with high temperatures this afternoon in the upper 30s with plenty of sunshine. Overnight low near 20 degrees, then highs in the upper 40s heading into Tuesday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 25 points to 48,433. Market update brought to you by Blue Shark Vodka, the world's smoothest vodka. Pour Blue Shark Vodka at your holiday events to lift your spirits this season. Blue Shark Vodka, the shark that doesn't bite.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Anytime the Carolina Panthers have it's wild. Okay. It's one of the more ridiculous phenomena that I've seen in my decade and a half covering sports professionally. The way in which the Carolina Panthers and not the team, obviously, but the fandom treats Bryce Young is something I'll never explain. I'll never be able to explain. If the team finishes with 1 point more than the opposing team, and they get the win. Bryce Young is Terry Bradshaw mixed with Mike Vick, mixed with Peyton Manning, mixed with Tom Brady, mixed with Patrick Mahomes, mixed with whoever's your favorite quarterback. It's unbelievable. And if they finish like one hair, just 1 point, one overtime kick, 1 second behind, and the team loses, you'd think Bryce Young was Ryan Leaf mixed with Jamarcus Russell. Factually, he is what he is. He's 180 passing yards. He's maybe a turnover, maybe not, maybe a one off the hands. He's pretty good at managing the game, but he's never running away with it. This past week meaning yesterday, it was a reverse Bryce Young game. I actually thought he played pretty solid most of the game. That might be worse. Because when I think you played pretty solid and you threw for 160 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, like that can't be you're pretty solid. Now, I do think he brought some things, with his legs, running the ball. So, a little over 200 total yards. But it's an issue that the Carolina Panthers always need to pull a rabbit out of their hat at the end of the game if they are going to win. Right? And just inherently, if you have an elite passing game or even like a pretty above average passing game, that's where you can score in bundles, right? When you're accurate downfield, that's where you can pull ahead by 2 scores, 3 scores, where you can win prior to the last minute of the game, and they just never do it. They just never, ever do it. And can you say, well, Tedero McMillan dropped a pass, and this guy's not getting open? Maybe, but also Jalen Coker made a heck of a play down that sideline. Great ball from Bryce Young, but usually that stuff comes out in the wash. Right, I'm paying attention to the Rams game because I have Puka on my my fantasy team, and Puka's dropping passes right in his breadbasket. The difference is Matt Stafford is able to pick up the first down on the next play anyway, and then Puka has more opportunities at it. So no one remembers that drop. The defense did a lot, meaning the Carolina Panthers defense, that you should be disappointed about. Right? Yes, at the end, when you have the opportunity, you're up 17-7 or whatever it is, and you have the chance to kind of put a bow on it, the defense should have done better, right? And then what was it, like a 10-yard pass, a 20-yard pass, a 15-yard pass, a 15-yard pass, a touchdown pass? Like they just mowed their way down the field. I get it. That's not good. That ended up being the tying touchdown. They gave up 20 points. In the NFL, there has to be an acknowledgement that the defense can look across from you and say, if we give up like 17 points, you're going to score enough for us to win, right? If we give up 20, you're going to score enough for us to win, right? And if we give up less than like 25, 20, 26 points, no one's going to turn around and blame us, even if some dumb stuff led to us giving up 20, right? No one's going to blame us for giving up 17, which is essentially what they did until that final drive. It is what they did until that final drive. Like there's got to be some acknowledgement by the offense.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is timeliness too. Like there's a certain time when you can drop back and play that bend don't break style of defense in that soft zone, but when you keep getting sliced up on these 3rd and longs and these 15-yard completions over the middle of the field, I mean, you need the defense to step up as well. But I don't know. I think there's an even share of blame for a lot of different aspects of this game for the Panthers: play calling, discipline, defense, and then the thing that's plagued them for at least 2 seasons, if not more now, there's no pass rush on that defense either.
Which is all true. There's no pass rush, and they still gave up 20. There's bad calls against the defense, and they still gave up 20. Right? The NFL, it's actually the sport of football, but the NFL is obviously the highest version of it. It's a microcosm for life, man. Things aren't going to go your way. Other teams are going to make plays. I'm not 100% sure. I anticipated Tyler Shuck being able to make all those throws down the stretch. Granted, he was dicing you up, and you probably should have adjusted at some point. But it's kind of like the shooter for Kansas against NC State. In the post game, they were like, "Yeah, our scouting report said let him shoot." He made 9 threes. Right, the scouting report for the Saints basically was, hey, maybe Tyler Shuck, let him try to beat you, and if he does, tip your cap. 20 points isn't beating you. And the run game, I guess it could have been better. It averaged over 4 yards a carry. Your first drive was just ba-doom, 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 run, score. And I know every game doesn't have to become this huge debate about the future of Bryce Young, but it will, right? Until a guy's on a long-term contract or moved on and replaced, it's going to be a big conversation. And to me, this is the ultimate experience of Bryce. Played pretty well. Made a heck of a throw to Jalen Coker. Great decision-making most of the game. He scored 17 points. He threw for 163 yards. Name another quarterback in the NFL that you walk away where people were already jumping in, like the Bryce defenders that are just dug in. They're already hitting me up on Twitter as soon as the game's over. Don't you dare put this game on Bryce. He played well. Don't you dare put this game on Bryce. This is a Edgero-Evero game. This is all about the defense. This is all about that prevent defense. Don't you dare. And I'm going, okay. You're that adamant he played great. Name another quarterback in the NFL who played great and throws for 163 yards.
I don't think he played great, but I don't think it would be fair necessarily to say that he played poorly either.
No, I'm saying this is a good version of Bryce.
Yeah, it's a pretty average Bryce Young game. He's
solid.
Yeah, he didn't turn the ball over. Made some good throws when receivers were open.
Made a couple great throws.
I don't think that the offensive line had their best game. Now, he only got sacked one time, but it felt like he was under pressure a lot, especially in those clutch drives at the end, especially that last possession they had where they could have gone down and kicked the field goal for the win. Instead, they get stopped and punted away, and then the Saints come down and score. He just didn't have a ton of time, and it didn't seem like receivers had a ton of separation in this game. But I've said it before, and I'm like a lot of people, I kind of go up and down on Bryce. Sometimes it seems like he could be the guy. Other times you think maybe he just doesn't have what you need to be able to be a competitive, contending team. I don't necessarily think he's bad, but I just don't know if he's good enough, especially as a guy who was drafted first overall and you traded a whole heck of a lot for.
Yeah, and the investment to me has come and gone, right? Previous staff, everybody else, those guys are gone, likely for that reason. Although, Dan Morgan was around, but he wasn't the one, pulling the strings officially. It has to be. The quarterback impacts winning too much. It has to be that if your quarterback plays well, you win that game. It can't be your quarterback plays well and you need more from a bunch of others. And the running game was okay. The running game was solid. It wasn't atrocious. Was up and down at times. Your defense, again, up and down at times, maybe more down than up, but you still you gave away enough points to be in the mix. You have to win that game. Have to. It can't be your quarterback plays well and X, Y, and Z also happen for you to beat the Saints. Especially when, X, Y, and Z kind of did happen. If I look at, right, I talk about there being two different kinds of quarterbacks. Inevitable and situational. And at any point in time, there's 4 inevitable quarterbacks playing. We're talking about this year, it's probably Josh Allen, maybe Mahomes when he had it going right. It's not even Lamar Jackson this year. Matt Stafford right now.
Matt Stafford, unless he's playing the Panthers.
There you go. But inevitable means you can put anybody around him. Right, you could put the best O-line, the worst O-line, best receivers, worst receivers. They're going to put together a pretty good offense because they're inevitable. Everybody else is situational. Some have more situations that they need than others, right? Some need a great receiver and a great offensive line. Some need a running game and great tackles so they can step up in the pocket. Some need a tall receiver, whatever, right? Everybody has a different situation. If you asked me what Bryce needs to win, I would have said something like a defense got to hold them to 17, 20 points or less. I would have said a running game averaging over 4 yards a carry on bulk carries, probably 25 or more. They had 31. I would have said everything that I would have said, they did. Right? You can't have any cheap turnovers. Can't have the ones that bounce off hands and get intercepted. Even though there were drops, none of them got intercepted. Got to start fast. They did. Can't play from behind. They didn't. I'm not sure what else you could ask for. And again, I think he played well. And I think that's kind of scary. He played pretty solid. Had 163 yards and a loss. Do you agree or disagree? I want to hear from you. Heister Automotive Group hotline is open right now for a Monday Soundoff. Call in now if you have a take on Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young, the playoffs, the Saints game, or anything else. If you have a take on the Canes, or Brandon Bussey, or Alexander Nikishin, or whoever else on the Canes, or college basketball as well, the phone lines are open. They're truly at your disposal. The show is your playground. Heister Automotive Group hotline, the number 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326 is the number to call. And if you don't get through, keep calling. We'll keep opening up phone lines as the show goes on. And be nice to Max when he picks up the phone. Again, 919-860-5326. We'll get to your calls. Monday Soundoff next.
Hey, folks. Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Folks, this is the last week. You have until Friday, December 19th to take advantage of 20% off of the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. 20% off. Use the promo code LOSEIT. Give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. I've been with the program for over 4 months at Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and I've maintained the 42 pounds that I've lost thanks to the program there. My body feels better. My knees, my hips, my ankles just are carrying less weight, and they feel a lot better. I'm sleeping great at night. So many other metrics of my body and my health have improved thanks to the weight I've lost at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone consultation. Get all your questions answered. See if the program is the right thing for you. And when you do sign up, use the promo code LOSEIT to save 20%. 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
We've got NFL tonight on 99.9 The Fan. Presented by Wake Med.
Showtime, prime time.
Your primetime matchup is an AFC battle.
Hot dog, man.
It's Miami and Pittsburgh.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7.
Here we go.
Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
On the Triangle's home for the NFL, 99.9 The Fan.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
This holiday season, are you ready for the feast? The feast for your eyes, that is, with 8K TV from Soundstation and Security. Upgrade that home theater experience for all those direct-to-streaming, big-screen blockbusters with 8K TV from Soundstation and Security. Can't decide which one to get? Soundstation and Security has gift cards in any denomination. This holiday, shop Soundstation and Security with 2 locations in downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
The wrap-up the year sales event is on at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Right now, you could get 0% financing for 60 months on a new 2026 Ram 1500. Or even better, 0% for 72 months on a new 2025 Ram 1500. Or take advantage of 20% off any new Ram 1500 in stock. See dealer for details. In other words, it is time to get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/125 to 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Excuse me, garçon. I'll pick up the tab for the lady and I.
Sir, this is Monopoly money.
And there's more where that came from.
I'm calling the cops.
Don't waste your time. I have a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Start playing for real money. New Monopoly scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have real cash wins of up to $1 million. Monopoly is a trademark of Hasbro. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.83 to 4.28. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're getting ready to open up the phone lines, all about whatever you want to talk about. Canes, Panthers, college basketball, anything in between. But I do want to remind everybody we have CanesMas coming up at 4:45. One of you out there will win yourself, or it's not even win, we're just gifting. We will gift one of you out there a pretty sweet Canes prize. There's still signed pucks, there's Bluetooth speakers, there's a bunch of really cool stuff that somebody out there will receive this CanesMas season. So Merry CanesMas to you all, 4:45. Make sure you're still tuned in right here. In the meantime, let's jump to the Heister Automotive Group hotline as part of our Monday Soundoff. Ralph in Durham is up first, wants to sound off on the NFL schedule. Ralph, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hi, how you doing? I enjoy the show immensely, and I want to apologize to Dennis because I always seemed like I was railing on him when he answered the call. But anyway, the NFL schedule makers and their creativity / lack of it with this play a team a week, be off a week, and play them again, it's really convoluted to me. I think it sucks. My Eagles, we had to do it twice. We did it with the Giants, and we had to do it again with the Skins. I mean, I just don't think it's very creative, and I think that really sucks. And the NFL should be taking the task to that.
All right, I appreciate the call. Listen, Ralph, we might disagree on that one. And the only reason being, thank you for the call back in any time, is I think the NFL wants meaningful football down the stretch. If both the Tampa games had already taken place, the division would kind of be settled, right? If you can guess who the top two teams in a division are going to be, playing two late in the season means the division's still up in the air, right? You don't want too many games at the end that like mathematically don't have an impact on anything, because then you get into sitting players. It's the fantasy playoffs, so how would we predict who's going to be gunning and who's going to be sitting out if everybody was playing for nothing? So again, Ralph, I appreciate the call, but we're allowed to disagree. Be civil about it. We go back to the Heister Automotive Group hotline, which, by the way, is open. And if you call and you can't get through, keep calling, simply because lines will open up as we rifle through callers here. 919-860-5326. Travis in Maryland is up next. Travis, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, Tim. Happy Monday, man. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Happy to hear from you. What do you got?
Yeah, no problem. I want to get your take on this. My first question is about, I felt that Jeremiah Smith got robbed of the trophy on Saturday night. Mm-hmm. And even though he didn't have the best of stats, I think the kid from UConn had the best stats. But what do I know? But he was the most electrifying wide receiver on the number one team in the nation. So I'm going to get your take on that, as well as where do you think DJ Lagway may go? I think he may go to Indiana, or he may try to go and sneak up and go to Notre Dame. Thank you.
All right, I appreciate the call. Listen, Jeremiah Smith just dealt he didn't play a ton down the stretch. Ohio State is so good that they can spread around the production. So I don't think in the long and storied career of Jeremiah Smith, we will look back and think anything of him missing out on the Fred Biletnikoff Award. I will give you this. Skylar Bell, the kid from UConn, very, very talented, 100-something catches, but he played for UConn, right? UConn lost some games. They lost to my Delaware Blue Hens. It's hard to win national awards when you're not in a power conference and not winning, 10, 11, 12 games. And don't sleep on Mekhi Lemon. He's a good player at USC. Power conference, big offense, big plays, great with the ball in his hands. There weren't a lot of runaway winners for the awards this year. Jacob Rodriguez, maybe some of the defensive stuff from Texas Tech, but other than that, Fernando Mendoza is an underwhelming Heisman. Mekhi Lemon might be an underwhelming Biletnikoff Award winner. Statistically, Jeremiah Love is an underwhelming Doak Walker. He had like 1,300 rushing yards. Guys that have been winning it have been 2,000 plus in recent years. So might have just not been the best statistical year across college football. Maybe defenses are catching up. How about that? Back to the call-in line. Oh, there may have been another question that he asked. Oh, where would Lagway go? No clue, but I don't think he's going to be the crown jewel of the transfer portal market. I think there will be others that draw more attention that he will have to wait to see where they go, and then he'll get in where he fits in. Steven and Angie are up next. Wants to talk Panthers. Steven, welcome. Go ahead and sound off.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Love the show. Listen every day.
Thank you.
So the Panthers, to me, I feel like there was a point in that game. There's probably like 8 minutes or so left yesterday. They were somewhat in field goal range. I feel like they had a good chance to take a field goal, but went for it on 4th and 1. For a team that struggles to score points as is, I feel like it's bad to give up points when you have an opportunity to get points. And they've done that in previous games before. So I feel like the coaching staff doesn't help the team as it is. Like they're trying to be something that they're not instead of just kind of rolling with what they got and taking the wins that they can get. I feel like yesterday that was a part of the reason they lost that football game.
All right. Interesting take. I give you credit for going against what fans traditionally go with. So thank you very much for the call. It's rare to find a fan that doesn't love going for it on 4th and short. It's rare to find a player that doesn't love going for it on 4th and short. Sometimes coaches have to do the conservative thing. It was 4th. It wasn't even 4th and 1. It was 4th and the football length.
Well, and it's easy too. Like, who knows if he felt that way beforehand? Everybody can say in hindsight, man, they really should have just taken the points there when they get stuffed on 4th, or then when they get it, it's like, wow, what a great decision. Like, I would have gone for it 100% of the time. So it's easier in hindsight, but I mean, it's more popular than ever to go for it on 4th now. So I feel like everybody does it.
Well, there's a few reasons, and I'll give you the quick versions. One, they've gone for it on 4th as much as anybody in the league. Part of their trying to be someone they're not. No, they are the team that goes for it. And give Dave Canales credit for sticking to that. Two, field goals are not analytically that great. And here's what I mean. With where the ball comes out on a kickoff, I believe that 4th and 1 was at the 35-yard line going in. So if you kick the field goal and it goes in, you get 3 points, but you're giving the ball with the new kickoff rules like 20 or 30 yards away from where you were kicking it from. So, they're a 1st down and a half away from being in field goal range on their own, and then you're playing even, right? Touchdowns are the things that swing wins in your direction. And then I'll just say it like this. You got to be able to pick up half a yard. You got to be that's the issue. It's not the decision to go for it. It's the fact that you couldn't get it. You have to be able to grab half a yard whenever you need to.
Yeah, and I will say, though, they've on these 4th down situations, like how many times can we count this year where they've come up with a huge 4th down through the air?
They go for it.
I feel like maybe a little play action there would be good, but, again, I'm not an NFL play caller, so if they have a look that they like, that they think they can pick up half a yard, I mean, they just didn't convert that time. But I'm sure they have some other looks that they're kind of saving in the back pocket there.
The 4th down and short is 100% one of those things that, like sitting on my couch, I think I would be a perfect play caller, but I know I wouldn't. But I like in my heart of hearts, I believe I could. I know I couldn't, but no, I mean, like I would be 100%. As long as the players execute what I ask them to, we'd be 100%. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Edward and Wendell, one of our loyal listeners, calling in to sound off about NC State hoops. Edward, welcome back to the show. The floor is yours.
I think the problem with the loss a couple nights ago was that we could not guard the perimeter whatsoever. like late in the game, it was like that dude, Council Jr., he was just throwing threes up and making them, or he would just drive straight in. And we got to figure out our matches up against other teams if we are going to run man. And I think the overtime loss, a loss is a loss, but it's better than not even making it to overtime. It was very clutch at the end. I forgot who hit that three, but that was a very clutch three, and we just need to pull it all together. And I think either this year, at the end of this year, we're going to get really hot and go deep in March, or next year we are hot all year once Will Wade figures out how he's going to run with this lineup.
Edward, I always appreciate your calls. Well researched, and I appreciate it. So, I'm sure we'll talk to you again next week. Council hitting all those threes, it's a tough one. The guy's not a shooter, right? So if a non-shooter, like he's made like 4 or 5 threes all season.
I believe he was something like 6 for 29 or something like that.
If he hits his first 3 threes, do you suddenly start treating him and changing your defense like he's, Steph Curry, Kyle Korver? Or do you go, it's a little bit of a fluke, let's see him make a bunch more? And then at some point you do have to adjust. But it's a tough one to get really wrapped up in that being kind of the difference. It's like, guy gets hot. Right? It's maybe the most famous example of this is Michael Jordan's shrug game where he hit 6 threes and a half. And people are like, why weren't you coming out? It was like, well, if you go out, it's Michael Jordan. He's still going to drive by you.
He'll drive right past you.
And dunk on you, right? You're probably every single one of those threes thinking that's a good shot for us to let up, even though we made it, right? And how long do you trust the scouting report before you adjust is part of being a coach. And obviously they should have adjusted earlier on the shooter from Kansas, but the guy's not a shooter.
Yeah.
Like the first 3 are free. Right?
He said something in the postgame about like the most he's ever hit in a game is like 3 or 4 or something. He
was even talking about how the day before a shoot around I knew I was hot, and he was like, they weren't going in, but they were close. I'm like, this guy's such a non-shooter that he's missing going like, I'm good.
I barely missed that one.
That one was close.
It's crazy. This is like the 3rd or 4th like random kind of role player guy who's gone off for like a ton of points. It was Pope for Texas. It was Overton for Auburn, and now you've got Melvin Council for Kansas, who are just going off for these huge nights at the three-point line. It's getting to the point where I'm about to say, like, Will Wade, like, you just got to get them to chase everybody off the three-point line because it doesn't matter who it is. It seems like they're going to have a big night from 3, so might as well try to turn those 3s into 2s and just take your chances at the rim.
Take 2 of those 3s into 2s, you win the game. You only lost by 1. Dave in Middlesex up next here on the Heister Automotive Group Hotline. Dave, very happy to have you here on the show. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Oh, yes. I want to talk about the Panthers, man. Is it me or is it do everybody else see whenever we have time on the clock, for instance, and we get the ball back at the half, we never try to capitalize on trying to get points, it don't seem like. I mean, we get the ball with 2 minutes left and then have doggone, 2 or 3 timeouts left, and it seemed like we cannot capitalize, say, against the Rams. That happened then. And, it's just like we just putty on down the field or try to, and it ain't no urgency to try to get more points on the board because I don't know if Dave thinking like, we're going to get the ball back at halftime. And I don't think it should be like that. We need to push that ball down the field. And another thing, receiver-wise, in my eyes, maybe I'm looking at this wrong too, Coker. I think he needs to be for now. Number 1. I mean, I haven't seen that guy miss a ball that was kept. I mean, right there to him or anything. I mean, he catches some of the prettiest balls, man. And McMillan, I like McMillan too. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like right now he's not consistent. I'd rather have Coker right now as number 1 than McMillan.
Okay, I will address both of those. So thank you very much for the call. First, I believe they got a field goal with like a half minute left, 45 minutes left against the Saints. So they were driving for points at the end of the half. When you're getting the ball in the second half, it's very important, if you can, that you score near the end of the first half to double it up, right? What you don't want to have happen is you score, they score, and then you get the ball back. So you need to give it to them with less time. So there is an element of timing it up to score where they can't answer before you get at the end of the second half. Kind of double up your possessions there. It's something play callers think about, which I think they did a decent job of this week against the Saints. But if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they did great on their first drive of this. No, they did good on the end of their first. They got 10 points on their last drive of the first half and their first drive of the second half. So that's just good clock management. Second of all, about the McMillan Coker number one, there is a certain physical skill set you need to be a number one in the NFL. You have to be able to get open when people know you're getting open. You have to be able to get open quickly. And Tetairoa McMillan has more of the physical skill set. Jalen Coker, if you listen to the show, you know I'm a gigantic Jalen Coker fan. But he is a bit more of a number two, meaning, he can play off of the number one, maybe have less safeties over the top. There's inherent things that are different there. That's not to say he can't overperform Tetairoa McMillan for long stretches. It just means, one guy is a bit more suited for that traditional number one role. But I'm a big Jalen Coker fan. If you wanted to just continue shooting, praise his way, I would have allowed it. Robert in Fuquay is up next here on the Heister Automotive Group Hotline. Wants to sound off on the bus. Brandon Bussey. Robert, take it away.
You guys have got to give Brandon Bussey the net. I mean, this franchise has been clamoring for a number one goalie. And now I do understand he's young and he's unproven and untested. But what has Freddie won? What has Kachuk won? I mean, just give the kid the net. Let him run with it. See what he does. I mean, what's it going to hurt? He's not expensive. So come trade deadline, if you've got a goalie wrapped up, you don't have to worry about spending money on a goalie. That frees you guys up to get a number two center, and boom, problem solved.
So what do you mean by giving the net? I think they kind of have.
I want to see him get a little bit more of a run. I feel like Rod's going to go back to Freddie or Kachuk. I haven't seen it for long enough to feel confident that it's his net.
All right, I appreciate it. The reason why I hit the follow-up is I think he's, 7 of the last 11 games or something along those lines?
Yeah, I mean, I was honestly kind of expecting Freddie Anderson to get one of these in the back-to-back with Philly, but I think they've shown how much faith they have already in Brandon Bussey, and, for good reason. Like we mentioned, he's currently second in the league in GAA and has a above-average save percentage and is making history every time he starts a game, so I think it's going to be interesting what happens if he does have a game where he struggles and lets a few in to see how they react, but that hasn't really happened yet, so they haven't really had to reevaluate that at this point.
So here's how it goes. He has started 6 of the last 9 games. Twice he's gone back-to-back games, meaning not back-to-back days because it's back-to-back, but he's started in December 9th against Columbus and December 11th against Washington with no game in between, right? So at least over the last 9 games, it's been his net. He's only played in 12 games, so it took him 6 games to earn the net, and now it's his. And as far as I'm concerned, the only other give him the net would be to sign him to an extension, which they can't do till January, right? This is the part of a poker hand where you get to see more cards without putting any more money in the middle of the pot. So you're just gaining information, and I hate to say this. Whenever he has an off game, I'm kind of going to perk up ooh, let's see what happens, because you just want to know how he reacts. It's one of the few things you don't really know about him. He's pretty good in the shootout. He's stayed locked in when he's given up a lead for the team to come back. He's stopped breakaways. He's been pretty good in traffic. He's done a little bit of everything. The only thing we haven't seen is how he reacts bouncing back to adversity. So we'll see. But no, we're the wheels on the bus go round and round. We're all on board. Isaiah in Wake Forest next up. Heister Automotive Group Hotline on a Monday. Soundoff. He wants to sound off on both the Canes and the Panthers. I assume very different sound-offs. Isaiah, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. On the Hurricanes, pretty quickly. I agree with the other caller. I do think they've given over the net to Bussey. I do still want to see Coach Chekhov because I really like his aggressive play coming out with those poke checks. I really like his play style, and I think he could develop into a really good 1-2 punch. But for now, until you can sign Bussey, I want to see him in goal as much as possible because I want to have the largest sample size possible when that time comes around where I can sign him. And then on the Carolina Panthers, I mean, come on, guys. You had a chance, but one thing I saw was that Lathan Ransom call. You can't blame him for everything. That's the stupidest thing I've seen in a while because that made that 61-yard field goal, moved it up to a 46. I mean, there's no need to do that. That was so stupid. And then I do think that if there's any edge rushers off season, Max Crosby, I'm paying a lot of money to get a big money edge rusher. I'm paying a lot of money for that. I'm keeping Bryce because it's not worth wasting a draft pick on, and I'm looking for off-ball linebackers. Thank you.
All right, I appreciate the call. Lots to get to there. Yeah, Bussy, we had the Bussy conversation, so appreciate you for adding on to that. When it comes to I think I'm too old school, and I never thought I always thought I'd be the young, cutting, hip guy. For as far as the Lathan Ransom deal, he's flying downhill. He's like every yard that quarterback picks up is a yard closer on the field goal. He's flying downhill. That's a late slide. Do you know what I actually think is the move here? And I think this is kind of fair towards football. You got to slide head first. Protect yourself. Go down that way, because when you go down the other way, it's really hard. When you're baseball sliding, you're still upright, chest popped up, super vulnerable for a long time. But if you go down like you're diving low, you're responsible for protecting yourself. I hate that the defense takes on all the responsibility for protecting the guy who's sliding. You protect yourself. If you don't want to get hit, get down before anyone can hit you. Now they're trying to slide at the last possible second, and it's not great. And that's coming from a former quarterback who never got the sliding thing down. Coaches used to get mad at me. I used to try to jump over people. I had a little bit of a vert, but I wasn't always clearing them. You know what I mean? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's rack through the last few here on a Monday sound off because we're running out of time. But 3 more. We'll go 3 more. Eric in Wake Forest wants to sound off on the Panthers. Eric, welcome to the show. Take it away.
Tim, hope you guys are doing well today.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully you are as well.
I'm admittedly a Saints fan, and I have a couple things to say. First off, the Saints aren't quite as bad as everyone thinks they are. They have been trending up towards the end of the season, and there's a lot of hope in Tyler Shuck that he may be the guy.
Without 2 wins over the Panthers, are you saying that?
I am, and it's purely the eye test. It's just watching him in the pocket, his awareness, the touch he's got, and he can throw some lasers sometimes. It's a small sample size, admittedly, but just from watching him, he looks pretty good. At least enough to give him next year to see what he can prove.
Okay.
As far as that game, the biggest problem the Panthers had in the second half was, number one, was a 17-play, 12-minute drive that they gave up to the Saints. And the second thing that people aren't talking about is the penalties. The penalties killed the Panthers. I think they gave the Saints 6 first downs on penalties alone in that game.
Trust me. People are talking about the lack of discipline for the Carolina Panthers. It was, it's definitely one of the bigger stories. But as a Saints fan, enjoy the win. You know what I mean? I want to make sure you enjoy the win and just don't do it around me. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. We'll do our best to take out the Falcons and anybody else for y'all.
There we go. You did that. Way less cool when you turn around and do it right back to the Carolina Panthers. Listen, I'm not saying Shuck is bad. I'm saying if you want to be a playoff team, you beat this version of the Saints. There's a line there. Jay in Sanford also wants to sound off on the Panthers. Jay, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Thank you for having me. I feel like we can make it to the playoffs because
for sure.
Week by week, we win one and then we lose one. We just lost to the Saints. So does this mean we're going to sweep the Bucs? Because next game is the Bucs, beat the Bucs, lose to Seattle, beat the Bucs again, we host a playoff.
If it's correlation or causation, right? The way you're describing, if they're every other game, you're exactly right. They're going to win the 2 they need to win. I just don't know if it's actually written in the cosmos that way. Thank you for the call. Call back in anytime. Last caller of this edition of Monday Sound Off, Nick in Pittsburgh. All right, Nick in Pittsburgh wants to sound off on the Panthers. Nick, welcome to the show. End this Monday, sound off with a bang.
I appreciate you guys having me. Shout out Panthers. Just coming from Pittsburgh, I'm here for work, but I was born and raised in North Carolina.
All right.
I hear a lot of complaining on the Pittsburgh 937 The Fan about their team every year, and they're in the playoffs pretty much every year. So I just wanted to point out a few things about the Panthers. Everyone needs to pump the brakes. Like, we have a promising team. We have a young second-year head coach. We have a promising quarterback, a young, hungry team. And the fact that we're even having these conversations in December, I'm happy about it. And that's about it. There's a million problems we can talk about, but I'm just happy to be in the playoff hunt this late in the year. And I've been dealing with all the 5-12, 3-11 seasons. So, like, I'm just happy to be here, honestly.
I appreciate the call, and I appreciate the perspective, Nick. Call back in anytime and keep repping up there in Pittsburgh. Few parts of it. One, I would add, the goal for this year is already accomplished. The goal for the Carolina Panthers was to make these next 3 games, including last week, so these last 4 games, meaningful, and they are. Right? That's what I said before the season. That's what I'll say from this point forward. Playing meaningful football in December was always the goal, but once you achieve a goal, you don't go perfect. Done. No, you now reset your goals, aim higher, and keep going. And secondly, some would say the hard part is still to come, right? It's difficult to become a middle-of-the-road team, but now there's parts you don't want to mess up, right? When last 3 years, every offseason there was, you could change that, you could change that, you could change that. Yeah, okay, uproot the defense, uproot the offense. Who cares? It was all bad. This year, you're going to have to look around and go, no, that's good. That's good enough. Keep that, move that, change that, and that becomes much more high stakes. Pick the wrong thing, it all comes down like a Jenga box. Do appreciate the call, though, all the way from Pittsburgh. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We could talk Brandon Bussey for hours and hours and hours. Maybe we will, because the guy's playing that well. But there's some other stuff to get to for the Carolina Hurricanes as well. We talk Canes coming up next.
Pack Therapy is in session, thanks to First Horizon Bank. It's Tim Donnelly from 99.9 The Fan, alongside legendary Wolfpack play caller Mike Glennon.
Every episode of Pack Therapy is your chance to get dialed in with inside information on your team.
We'll set you up for every Wolfpack game all season long.
And we'll break down every contest, what went right and what could have worked better.
Plus, special guests to keep Wolfpack hope alive.
Follow and subscribe to Pack Therapy wherever you discover your favorite podcasts, and watch every episode on YouTube.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending and Cary. With the Federal Reserve cutting rates, the most frequent question we get is, do I wait for rates to go lower, or should I take the savings and just act now? At Miller Lending, we toss all the timing questions aside with our popular no-cost program. With no fees charged or added to your loan amount, you simply close on today's rates and refinance again as rates fall. With many economists predicting rates in the 5s next year, why pay upwards of $15,000 to $20,000 in closing costs just to get a rate you may get for no cost next spring? Imagine the freedom to use that money for more important things than reducing your payment by the extra $50. Recently, we've noticed a trend of related party transactions as some of the nation's largest lenders have bought real estate or mortgage lead sites, driving closing costs even higher. Please don't throw away all that cash or equity when all you wanted was a lower payment. Call Miller Lending and see why a no-cost loan is the right loan for you. 919-447-3377, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
This Christmas, gift deeply. At Bailey's, we know jewelry is more than just something sparkly. Each piece carries meaning, emotion, and love. Discover the largest selection of designer jewelry, diamonds, luxury timepieces, and gifts for everyone special on your list. Give a gift that says everything words cannot. Beautifully wrapped in our iconic Bailey box. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, Greenville, and Charlotte, or at baileybox.com, because every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
At Hardee's, every Tuesday is now Tender Bender Tuesday. Right now, download the Hardee's app and join My Rewards. Buy 3 hand-breaded chicken tenders, get 3 free. It's Tender Bender BOGO every Tuesday now through June 2026. This Tuesday, get 3 tenders free. Next Tuesday, get them free. The Tuesday after that, you guessed it, free. Buy 3 tenders, get 3 free. Another great benefit for My Rewards members. Only at Hardee's. Registration and app required. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants. See app for terms.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As promised, Merry CanesMas, everybody. It is time to find today's gift recipient on what is the 6th day of CanesMas. So call in now. Caller number 10 will receive a Canes gift. 919-860-5326 is the number to call. 919-860-5326. You could win a signed puck. You could win a cooler. You could win a Canes Bluetooth speaker. You could win, there's so many cool things in there. I have the magical red hat right here. So call in, 919-860-5326. Caller number 10 will have me reach into the magical red hat, pull out a slip of paper with your gift on it. While Max sorts through those calls, I'll let you know who you can thank. 10 Days of CanesMas, presented by Hardee's. Cozy up to the goodness of Hardee's new grilled cheese, bacon, burger, and breakfast sandwich. You can also thank Surfside Vodka for presenting CanesMas. Whether you're watching hockey or warming up by the fire, there's nothing better than enjoying your favorite Surfside canned cocktail to keep the good times going. CanesMas is one of the best times of the year, especially when the Canes are playing lights out and winning a bunch of games in a row. Just makes everybody's CanesMas cheer go up to 11. All right, I just got the thumbs up, so we have our CanesMas participant. It is Anthony in Garner. Anthony, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, first of all, Merry CanesMas to you.
Merry CanesMas.
Now, you do have to answer a very quick trivia question in order to receive your CanesMas gift. So the question for today will be, can you name one of the Carolina Hurricanes team colors?
Red.
Red, and I like how you said that nice and clear, so we would completely understand you. Anthony, that is a correct answer. We would have also accepted black. Either way, I have the red magical hat here. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm shaking up the slips of paper. I will now choose your CanesMas gift, Anthony. Piece of paper stuck together. There we go. I have, I think, just one. You have received on this 6th day of CanesMas. Wow. Autographed Rod Brindamore hockey puck.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you go. Congratulations. On the 6th day of CanesMas, you got hooked up with a puck signed by the GOAT, Rod Brindamore.
Rod the Bod.
Rod the Bod. A lot of nicknames for that guy. Go ahead and stay on the line. Max will grab the info to make sure you get your gift there. But Merry CanesMas once again.
Thank you.
Once again, CanesMas presented by Hardee's. Get the Hardee's app and join My Rewards now, right now, and get hand-breaded chicken tenders, BOGO, every Tuesday through June 2026. Also, thank you to Surfside Vodka for presenting CanesMas. Whether you're watching hockey or warming up by the fire, there's nothing better than enjoying your favorite Surfside canned cocktail to keep the good times going. Autographed Rod Brindamore puck. That's a pretty good one. Pretty good one. Speaking of Rod Brindamore, he had some reasons to smile over the weekend. Not just Brandon Bussey, not just 4-game win streak, not just 3 consecutive wins in the skills competition, but Jacob Slavin was back out on the ice for the Carolina Hurricanes. Here is Rod Brindamore on seeing Slavin back out there. Rod, can you hear me? Rod's talking about Slavin.
We have to ease him back, and that's hard to do too. But yeah, it's been a long time without him, and nice to get him back, and hopefully up to speed here, in the near future.
Listen, the report before the game was that Jacob Slavin was going to warm up, was going to do some of the pregame stuff, and then give the thumbs up and thumbs down on whether he was going to play. I joked that he should do it like gladiator style, right? The entire stadium, the entire arena focused on him, center ice, thumb wavering, and then either up or down. Because seeing Slavin back on the ice would be that exciting, right? It would be that much of a pop. Seeing him out there would mean that much. Now, he played. And he immediately went into doing slaving stuff, right? Just blocking shots, leaving his body on the line, being in the right position, communicating with everybody. But you heard Rod say it. They limited him a bit, right? Played 14 and a half minutes, which, again, you heard Rod say there, not the easiest thing to do in the world. That's unreal, especially in a close game. That is unreal self-control from Rod Brindamore and the coaching staff. Because when you get up 2-1 and it's the third period, the temptation is this is where Slavin slams the door, right? This is where he puts Slavin out there for a whole bunch of minutes and he ends it for you and you end with the lead and you don't have to go to overtime. But you can't do that, right? Coming back from months off, a guy who was at least close enough that they wanted to see him warm up and everything before deciding he would play officially. It's just nice to have him out there. It's just nice to have him out there. And listen, there were guys looking shaky at times throughout the game, right? Well, so-and-so isn't on the bench. Where did so-and-so go? I believe this was the first time since the second game of the year that they had kind of the roster as designed, even with Jacob Slavin only playing, less than 15 minutes. It's been a long time since you had a game with the, I was talking about the roster as designed. When you're a general manager like Eric Tolsky, it's got to be frustrating to be judged on how your team is playing when you got, 3 or 4 rookies out there and you were planning on having maybe one, right? There were points in time where their blue line could have been like, just nicknamed the rookies and like Sean Walker.
Yeah, Sean Walker was the only guy who never ended up
Walker,
going down after
Mike Riley and the rookies.
Yeah.
Which is like, they played well, don't get me wrong. You might have found a little bit of a diamond in the rough in Nystrom. Nikishin obviously brings a certain amount of physical ability, but being judged when you see your team out there as it was intended and your lines top to bottom are at least some semblance of what you envisioned in the offseason, it's got to feel good. I always think of it like this. We, meaning the media, meaning this show, meaning this station, we think about the Canes a lot, right? We dissect the Canes a lot. We have the conversations a lot, but not a fraction as much as they do in that building, right? We also talk about other sports. We also have to do sales meetings. We also have other they're hockey, go, Canes. So I thought it was hilarious how often we thought of who we're going to pair with on the defensive end, right? With the 6 that played yesterday, with Chatfield, Gostisbehere, Miller, Nikishin, Slavin, Walker. Who would you pair where? Who's going to play offhanded? We did that for a month this offseason. Took 2 games for those conversations to be rendered moot by injuries. Now think about it if you're the Canes. They also had those conversations, right? How do you envision it? Who would skate offhanded? Who would skate with Nikishin? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? And then 2 games in, all those conversations were rendered moot as well. It was frustrating for us. And they probably did it 10x than what we did. So as Slavin works his way back, and I wouldn't expect him to be, 24 minutes on Wednesday or whenever they play next, but as he plays his way back, they do kind of get to go back to those original conversations, only now with more information. They know more about what Alexander Nikishin can do. They know more about what Keandre Miller does in their system, right? They can build with more information the ideal way to make this lineup work. And matter of fact, you know what? I'll wait. I'm going to make a declaration about the Carolina Hurricanes this season. They're going to be one of our starting 5. So we'll in this next 20 minutes here, we will play you 2 minutes of gold from Adam Gold, and then I will make a declaration about this year's Carolina Hurricanes that will. Some of you will probably say finally, because it's something I've been talking about all season that I'm finally going to put into our rear view. All right? That's going to happen during the starting 5, which is going to come up next. Now I'm excited. Hopefully you are as well. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the starting 5, as promised, up next, including a declaration about this year's Carolina Hurricanes. Stick around.
Hey, folks, it's Dennis Cox from my friends over at Loan Pronto. The best financial move you can make this time of year? How about lowering your mortgage rate to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rate in years? How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home equity in the process? You can do it now by calling Loan Pronto. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans while saving $2,100 a month. Don't wait. No hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out all higher interest debt and lowering your bills in the process. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, APR and well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Move your sports day forward.
You know the story of A Christmas Carol, the ghosts of past, present, and yet to come. We can tie it a bit to the Panthers season, the past, innocence by fans, big expectations, new faces, the present, a roller coaster ride of Bryce is our guy, or maybe not. Only the yet to come could be different than the Christmas tale. Unlike Scrooge, we actually care about December games.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
You know how to tell that you've picked a great gift? When you love to get it yourself. Hey, what do you say? John Forslund here with a great idea. Give Buffalo Brothers gift cards. Whenever I'm back in the Triangle, I make a beeline for Buffalo Brothers to get my wing fix, and it's my go-to spot for gifts and stocking stuffers. Now through December 24th, buy a $40 gift card for someone special and get a $10 gift card for you. Now that's a deal, baby. Visit any of their 5 Triangle locations and buffbrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. It is cold out there today with temperatures staying in the 30s. And get ready for another cold night tonight. We'll get down into the lower 20s. Lots of sunshine on Tuesday, and we make a little bit of progress, but it's still chilly with highs in the upper 40s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones closes down 41 points at 48,416.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Monday to you all. And happy 5 o'clock, which means starting 5, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
3rd down and 4. Rivers, and he's got a man. Touchdown! That's Josh Downs, and that's Phillip Rivers with a touchdown pass.
Phillip Rivers kind of pulled it off. I don't know if this happened to every football watching group. There was a moment Sunday morning where one of my group chats, somebody just posted is anyone else worried this is going to go horribly with Phillip Rivers today? It's almost like we were all excited by the fact that an old guy is going to try to give it a run. Oh, this is going to be so cool. Oh, the old gunslinger. And then right before it actually happened, we were like, wait, are we sure this is a good idea? He doesn't look like he's in that great a shape. Is he going to get hurt? Are those jokes not going to be funny that we talked about yesterday? But he did okay. I wouldn't say he played well, but, if you look at advanced analytics, he was the 8th best quarterback performance against the Seahawks this year. Middle of the pack. Here's Phillip Rivers on the message he can now send to younger people since he has given it the old-fashioned try at age 44 for the Indianapolis Colts.
This isn't why I'm doing it again. This is really, I know it comes with it, and I know it is a story, and I know it is rare and all those things, but I didn't do that. I wasn't searching. I was enjoying myself kind of down there being coach in South Alabama, but these kind of things don't come up. But obviously this doesn't come up every day. But I think maybe, maybe it will, I don't know, inspire or teach, to not to run or be scared of what may or may not happen, Hopefully, certainly I think of my sons and those ball players, that I'm in charge of at the school, that they'll say, crap, coach wasn't scared. You know what I mean? It's shoot, sometimes there is doubt, and it's real. And again, you can the guaranteed safe bet is to go home or to not go for it. And the other one is, shoot, let's see what happens. And so, I hope that in that sense that it can be a positive to some young boys, or young people. It doesn't have to be boys, but again, that's not the motivation.
So I'm gonna blend two pieces of news here real quick. For those of you that weren't listening earlier, John Talty of CBS Sports tweeted this out earlier. Duke quarterback Darian Mensah is considering entering the NFL draft, sources told CBS Sports. Again, according to John Talty of CBS, Mensah has gotten very good NFL feedback and projects as an early round draft pick. While other schools have inquired, Mensah is only considering the NFL or a return to Duke. Now, to blend those two stories, I'm going to give you a timeline here quickly. April 24th, 2004. Phillip Rivers, having completed 4 years as the starting quarterback at NC State, winning a bowl game, whole bunch of cool stuff, winning the Senior Bowl, is drafted into the NFL, along with Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger. He's then traded in a trade for Eli Manning. He then starts he doesn't start, but that entire NFL season takes place. He's backing up Drew Brees. He's learning the tricks of the trade. Then that January of 2005, Darian Mensah is born. If Darian Mensah goes pro, which you just heard from CBS Sports, he is considering the quarterback from Duke, there could be a straight up against each other curve of the career of Phillip Rivers and the career of Darian Mensah in the NFL. There could be no space between. How insane would that be? Do you know who Phillip Rivers officially took over the job for the Chargers from? Doug Flutie.
There's how many players does it take to get back to Johnny Unitas?
Yeah. It's it happened. It used in the NBA, it used to happen all the time because it was Robert Parrish. If you had ever played against Robert Parrish as a bench player on the Bulls, then you were 2 players away from playing against George Mikan. Phillip Rivers is now that guy. As long as you played against somebody on the Seahawks, they played against Phillip Rivers, who played against Doug Flutie, or played with Doug Flutie, and you're all the way back into the 80s. I don't know. It's just wild. Darian Mensah, by the way, not yet 21. Already talked about going to the NFL. Maybe. Sources told ESPN. Sources told CBS. Let me get that clear. It was John Tultzy of CBS Sports who had the sources. That is number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together.
18 points and 15 rebounds, a career high in the win against Georgetown. Wilson spinning on the baseline and elevating for the jam.
UNC men's basketball, the Tar Heels did what they were supposed to do against USC Upstate. They won by 18, 80-62. You heard Caleb Wilson there. He had himself a day, but not the kind of day that we've become accustomed to. Right? We've become accustomed, this is how crazy it is, to 24 and 12, right? Which he did kind of have, 20 and 11. He had 20 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists. He's already raised the bar to the point where that's like, oh, wow, bad off-day rebounding, right? You're playing an overmatched opponent. You only had 11 rebounds. But the real goodness gracious portion of the stat sheet for Caleb Wilson in that win over South Carolina Upstate, it comes in his efficiency. He had 20 points, 6 of 7 from the field. He only took 7 shots and didn't particularly shoot free throws well. Just a hair over 50% from the line. He's just a really, really good basketball player. And when you get a matchup where he can physically he's actually physically in another world, even against really good teams. But when the difference is that dramatic, he is going to force you to foul or he's going to score because he plays in a stratosphere above where most of your athletes can get to. 20, 11, and actually, I think I sold him short. I think he had 3 rebounds. 3 assists. Yes, he had 3 assists. A steal and a block. That's a really good day by him. Vesar, maybe not as dramatically good. 14 points, 9 rebounds, but still pretty good. Bogovac, he might be the one to come into crystal clear picture next for UNC. He is the one member of the perimeter that is signed, sealed, delivered, right? He is going to be a big part of UNC, regardless of what Seth Trimble does when he gets back, regardless of who becomes the main point guard, regardless of what Jaron Stevenson can do on the perimeter, regardless of if Jonathan Powell starts knocking down shots like he did against USC Upstate. Bogovac is there. Beyond that, the perimeter really is still unsettled. I do think if he's healthy, there's a spot for Seth Trimble to play big minutes. But Kyan Evans, he played 23 minutes. Derek Dixon came off the bench, he played 24 minutes. So obviously there's some push and pull on who's going to be the initiator of the offense. Jonathan Powell shot the ball really well off the bench. Maybe the spacing he provides earns him more minutes moving forward. The good news for UNC is they've played pretty well. They're in the top 15 in the country. They're doing what they should do against mid-major programs. And there's still kind of some questions. There's still some let's see what happens on the perimeter. And if that gets settled, if they figure it out, there might be another level higher than even they're playing. But Caleb Wilson and Vesar give them a certain baseline of good because they have 2 of the most talented bigs in the country. What number was that? That is number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Got to get the ball to D. Will.
NC State has a timeout left if they have trouble getting it in. Copeland gets it in. Williams for the win. It's no good. Kansas survives by 1 measly point.
Measly point? No, I'm just playing around. NC State lost to Kansas in overtime, 77-76 in overtime. You're going to hear me say this a bunch about that particular game. Teams frame the way their season is judged. They do. And NC State has framed the way this season is going to be judged with the way Will Wade and the team has talked about their season going back to the moment Will Wade took the job at NC State. right? We talked about it. We talked with Will Wade shortly after he took the job here on this show. And I asked him about the commitment of NIL funds and the commitment of revenue share. And his response wasn't, we needed X amount of dollars. It wasn't anything. It was, we have enough to win now. Right? He was emphatic at ACC tip-off, which is the media days for ACC basketball, that it was not a rebuild. Right? They said with their chest openly, we are going to be in the top of the ACC. We are going to be an NCAA tournament team. We are going to chase these big goals. That's how they want their season to be talked about. So when you set the stage and then you lose to Seton Hall, you lose to Texas, you lose to Auburn in the ACC-SEC Challenge, you lose at home to Kansas, which, by the way, by all accounts, was an electric atmosphere, so your talk did what it should in building a fervor and excitement around the program. Everybody's going to go, really? That's what your non-conference looks like?
The stripe out looks cool, at least.
Yeah, and they had the towels that lit up.
The Howl towels.
The whole thing. But because of the high expectations you set for yourself, it feels underwhelming. If you didn't do all that talking and you treated it like so many other coaches do, like buttoned up coach speak, one might even say boring, where you take over and you go, listen, Rome wasn't built in a day. We're going to try to get 1% better. We're going to get to know each other as competitors and see, what we can put together, with the expectation being that the foundation will be laid. Like just a bunch of word salad nonsense. Then, you lose on the road at number 20 Auburn. We're going like, well, that's probably that's a tough place to play for a team that's still figuring it out. You lose in overtime to a top 20 Kansas, and we're going, that's actually a huge step forward from where they were against number 20 Auburn a couple of weeks ago.
In terms of the game being closer, yes, but I feel like Kansas, this is a fairly beatable version of them, especially with the way Badunga got in foul trouble in the first 3 minutes, had to sit a lot of the first half.
And Peterson was dealing with tightness.
Yes, I mean, he wasn't much of a factor in the first half. I think he only had 2 points headed into the half, ended up finishing with 17, but still had to sit some of those crucial moments late in the second half and in overtime. But it's one you let slip away. It's certainly, I'm sure it doesn't feel great. In terms of their overall resume, it's okay. They're at 36 in the net. That's not stellar, but it's really not so bad. They're only 3 spots behind that Auburn team they lost to. And, they're right in the range of some other teams that seem fairly safely in, like a Tennessee or a Villanova. But you got to pick up some marquee wins at some point. There should be some opportunities in conference play. There are none left in the non-con. You had your chances. Your best win is Boise State right now. That is a quad 1, but hopefully those hold up, and hopefully the losses continue to at least look decent, because you haven't lost to anybody terrible, but you didn't really beat anybody all that great either.
First of all, very true. There's still room for this season to be a success. And nobody should thank the ACC more than NC State for having a pretty good non-conference run thus far as a conference. There are enough quad 1 opportunities, assuming that the teams that are good continue to be good. There are enough quad 1, quad 2 opportunities on their schedule that they can still play their way into having a pretty nice NCAA tournament resume. Some of their net rankings and things are already probably better than you'd expect with the losing that they've done recently. So there still is a path to the NCAA tournament. Obviously, we decide who the best ACC teams are in ACC play. So all of that is still on the menu of options for how their season can finish. But here's the thing. If you're not beating power conference teams in your non-conference, you got to fix the things that are holding you back from winning those games in order to win the games in the ACC that would make your season a success. Right? You brought it up. The Kansas team looked very beatable. I agree with you. Do you know how I know that? I watched UNC beat them. I watched Duke beat them. If you're going to get some of your bully neighbors, as Will Wade called them this year, you're going to play much better than you've been playing. So it's not over. It's just the reason your non-conference schedule has been underwhelming is because you promised significantly more than whelming. I don't know if that's how that word works. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. Here comes Andrei Svechnikov. Lifting in, pulling to the backhand and scores!
scores! Erosa Beauty! And the Canes have the 1-0 lead in the shootout.
The Canes have the 1-0 lead in the shootout. The Canes won in a shootout yesterday. They also won in a shootout on Saturday. They also won in a shootout the previous game. 3 straight shootouts, first time in in Canes history that they've done that. It's rare to even go to shootouts 3 games in a row. But I mean, it's all about the Bussy, right? Actually, let's see what it's all about. Hearing from our very own Adam Gold with 2 Minutes of Gold, all about the back-to-back shootouts.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 goalies and 2 players that helped Carolina get 4 points. I hope I'm not breaking a rule. And it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep. They will help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve. It was a shootout weekend as Carolina played an old school home and home with the Philadelphia Flyers. There Saturday, here Sunday. Both games ended the same way in the skills competition, which, theoretically, Carolina has not been great at of late. This year, however, a different story, and it started in Philadelphia. Pyotr Kochetkov in the 4th inning going old school.
Brink, he'll pick it up. He'll slow down as he crosses over the Canes blue line. Top of the circle, now he goes in fast. And Kochetkov, he knocks it away.
Old school. And then it was up to Jackson Blake to finish it off.
Blake coming in on Harrison. On the forehand, back and forth. He scores! Jackson Blake wins it in the shootout. And the Canes get the extra point, and they'll take a 4-3 victory here in Philadelphia.
Next night, new goalie, same 2 teams, same way it ends. Carolina at home in the shootout, batting second, Andrei Svechnikov.
Here comes Andrei Svechnikov. Lifting in, going to the backhand and scores! Erosa Beauty! And the Canes have the 1-0 lead in the shootout.
He made it look so easy, makes you wonder why he doesn't score all the time. He said he had missed like the last 10 or 12 or whatever. Andre probably doesn't know. Anyway, it was up to Brandon Bussy to slam the door on Matvei Mishkov.
Mishkov will pick it up with speed on Bussy. He'll come wide down the right wing boards, coming in, cutting up front. Bussy denies it, and another win for Brandon Bussy. His 9th in a row. He goes to 11-0. He's been perfect in the shootouts, and the Canes are perfect against the Metro. 4 games in 4 tries and 4 wins.
Made it look easy, celebrated actually a little bit like Peter Mrazek, if you remember the Mrazek celebration. Anyway, the Hurricanes in the skills competition get 4 points, well clear now in the Metro. They have won 4 in a row, 3 by shootouts. First time in franchise history they have ever won 3 consecutive games in the shootout. Incredible. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health, Soundoff. For more shootouts? I don't even like the shootout, to be honest.
Thank you very much to Adam Gold for 2 Minutes of Gold, all about the Carolina Hurricanes weekend with a bunch of shootout victories. I promised earlier today that I would make a declaration about this year's Canes team, and I would do so after 2 Minutes of Gold during the starting 5, and I'm going to make good on that that promise right now with a declaration. If you've been listening to the show since the beginning of the year, you know that I've said multiple times that the first 2 months are information gathering, right? It's all about how does Keandre Miller fit in? Who should he skate with? How does Alexander Nikishin fit in? Who should he skate with? At what point do you move Ehlers from the first line to the second line? Who the Logan Stankoven experience at second line center? I was fine with them trying a whole bunch of stuff and just keep moving it around. I think now it's the time where you start to really audition. You're no longer just gathering information, right? You've won enough. You're top of the East. Players have played well enough in roles. Lines have played well enough at times and played enough together that you should know. Now we're no longer in information gathering time, right? If you're trying something new, it should be because you're auditioning it for something you're going to use in the postseason, not just to see how it goes. right? If you try a new pairing, it's because it's a pairing that intrigues you enough that you might use it in a very, very big game. To use an analogy, like, you're out of your early 20s now. You're not dating for fun. You're dating to marry. You know what I mean? First 2 months, you're just, let's have some fun. No strings attached. Let's see what's going on. I'll text you on Saturday. We don't have to talk every day. Now, no, do I see a future with you or not is kind of the discussion. Because if not, trade deadline's closer than you think, right? If you need something, you got to need something now. And you got to decide how valuable it is to you. So we are out of the information gathering section of the season for the Carolina Hurricanes. Maybe outside of Brandon Bussey, just because he just showed up. Still got to gather some information on that guy. But the early returns, pretty good. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Number 1.
He'll throw it for Coker first. On the pitch back, it's on the ground, it's rolling around, nobody's on it, and now the pile leads to a Saints upset.
Carolina Panthers lost to the Saints 20-17 over the weekend. The game had been set up by the Thursday loss for the Bucs. If the Canes, I'm mixing my Carolina teams. If the Panthers beat the Saints and then beat the Bucs, just one of the 2 opportunities they have, they'd win the division, they'd be going to the postseason. If you go back and listen to our show on Friday, Max, you were on the show with us, right? Yep. I said it, so you can be the watchdog here. I said it. I was like, all of this is great, but now you have to take care of your business, right? The Falcons did you an unnecessary favor with nothing to play for. They're mathematically eliminated. They went out and beat the Bucs on Thursday night, but you have to not waste that with a loss to the Saints, and that is exactly what they did. And we had the Saints fan caller earlier today call and be like, the Saints actually aren't as bad as everyone's making it out to be. No, the Saints, they're playing well. They're getting better. Kellen Moore's a good offensive mind. Tyler Shuck was drafted where he was despite being 26 years old for a reason. Like Dave, Chris Olave is a player that can manufacture a drive with a bunch of chunk plays the way he did. But we've leveled up the way we talk about the Panthers. I talk about the goals rising. You don't achieve a goal and stop trying. The Panthers wanted to have, from my perspective, these games matter. They won enough that these games matter. Now you want to win them. Now you talk about yourself as if you're over 500 because before you lost to the Saints, you were over 500. You're not a basement dweller right now. There's a bunch of teams that all they care about is their draft stock, staying healthy, and what they're going to be doing in the offseason. You're not one of them. Those teams lose to the Saints. You can't. Consistency is a huge issue. Consistency for the Carolina Panthers. I joke that it's like it could be superstition or pattern, right? Good one game, bad the next game. Good one game, bad the next game. Good one game, bad the next game. Because it's what they've been doing for a better part of 2 months. But that's not what good teams do. There's a lot, maybe not a lot. There's significantly more, just pick a position, say quarterbacks, that can have a good month in the NFL. The way you differentiate yourself is by putting more often than not, right? Like 80% of the time you're playing quality football. Nobody's perfect, but you can't be coin flip. If the Panthers played, it didn't have to be an A+ game against the Saints. If they played B+ football with B- discipline, they win that game. Penalties, 100 and something yards of penalties. First downs given on penalties. Focus drops. Focus, lack of execution. Protection errors. Right? It's kind of an issue because they've now been good enough, often enough, that they've shown us what they can do. So now it's not you're bad. You know what I mean? In years past, there was some of that, right? There was some of the receivers can't get open. They just can't. They're doing their best. They're working as hard as they can. They're not good enough to get open. The offensive line isn't talented enough. They're not strong enough. They're not quick-footed enough. They're going to give up pressures because they can't physically stop them. There was some of that in years past. But when you play a game like you did against the Rams and then have a bye, that's not an excuse anymore. You're strong enough to bully the Saints. Your receivers are good enough to get open against the Saints. Your defense is good enough to force Tyler Shuck into turnovers. Do you know how I know that? Because you forced Matt Stafford into turnovers, and he's playing football better than darn near any quarterback on the planet right now. I know that Tetairoa McMillan can focus better on making catches even when he's not a huge part of the offense because he made the one catch he needed to against the Rams, over the shoulder, arcing pass, had to track it, make the catch, score the touchdown, 43-yard score, his only catch of the game against the Rams. So it makes it kind of inexcusable that he's dropping passes like he is. The offensive line blocked Jared Verse and blocked this guy and that guy. So I don't know if the Saints have the dudes over there that they should be getting to Bryce Young and pressuring him as often as they are. Panthers lost to the Saints, and it's not okay. They can make it okay by beating the Bucs twice, but that's significantly more difficult than you'd think. Even with the Bucs not looking great. They got Mike Evans back. Bucky Irving's back. They got some dudes.
It's like the caller said earlier, though. They kind of go in like a win-loss pattern. So, I mean, if they continue that, they'll make the playoffs. They'll sweep the Bucs and lose to the Seahawks. But we'll see. We'll see if that holds any water.
We've been talking about this stretch as the ghost of girlfriends past for the entire season. It comes down to Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. That's who's standing between you and the postseason. Two guys that were your quarterback not that long ago. Went elsewhere and have played significantly better.
And if Baker gets banged up, guess who's waiting with Tampa? Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy B. Teddy Two Gloves.
Can't escape him. There's former Panthers quarterbacks everywhere.
That's funny. I forgot about Teddy Two Gloves. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. I mean, we're in crunch time, ladies and gentlemen. We are in crunch time. There are 2 weeks till Christmas. 10 days till Christmas, right? Not even 2 weeks. And that means if you haven't been out to Bailey's Fine Jewelry, you need to. Because you can knock off everything on your list, right? Absolutely everything. You can get rough and tumble timepieces, watches for the youngsters in your life, maybe a G-Shock or a Timex, something that even they can't mess up with all their crafts and roughhousing. You can grab for grandma. There's might be some jewelry, might be from some estate jewelry. You can grab luxury watches for darn near everyone. Right? If I'm on your list, a luxury watch would definitely move you to the top of my favorites. But there's pre-owned and vintage Rolex. There's Norcanes. There's Glashütte Original. There's Blancpain. There's Omegas, which are some of my favorites. I saw they were talking about it on their social media, which, by the way, follow the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop on Instagram at Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, talking about the iconic Moonwatch, the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch Professional. And they're talking, you got the black dial. Everybody knows it. It's iconic. Some of the white dial Speedmasters they brought out. I'm telling you, you would win the holidays if you get them for somebody in your life. Drive out there. Check them out. It's all in the Village District location of Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Let them know when you stop in that you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. We need numbers game participants, don't we? Because we have a family 4-pack of Fandango tickets to see Avatar, Fire and Ash at a participating theater near you, courtesy of 20th Century Studios. I remember when the first Avatar came out, I was in college. It was crazy.
I don't think you want me to tell you where I was when the first Avatar came out.
Going to be born in 4 years or something like that?
No. I was in elementary school, though.
That's fine. That tracks. That actually doesn't make me feel as old as some other times you bring up how old you were. But Avatar, Fire and Ash at a participating theater near you. Family 4-pack of tickets from Fandango. Go to the winner of the numbers game today. You got to call in to play, though. We need 2 contestants. The number, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 for a chance to win a complimentary family 4-pack of tickets to see Avatar, Fire and Ash, and the glory that goes with winning the numbers game. Call in now. 2 contestants, 919-860-5326. Numbers game next.
Hey, it's Adam Golden. As the Carolina Hurricanes shoot for their 8th consecutive playoff appearance, that's right, 8 in a row. That's not the goal, I should remind you. The goal is being, as Rod Brindamore likes to say, the last team standing. What do they need? Who will get them there? You know where you can find the answers on every episode of the Canes Corner podcast, live on YouTube after games, and wherever you get your podcast. Rate, subscribe, like, share, tell your friends.
Progressive presents a testimonial of sorts.
Hey, slow down! Oh, yeah? Well, you drive like my grandma. She's a very attentive and courteous driver who wears a seatbelt and always uses her turn signals. She's also a talented painter and has very low cholesterol. Not that that has anything to do with her drive. We just thought a more complete picture of who she is might be interesting. Anyway, have a nice day.
Safe driver? Get Snapshot from Progressive and get a personalized rate based on how you drive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
At Smith Douglas Homes, we're proud to support our hometown heroes, teachers, healthcare workers, firefighters, and military. As a thank you, receive a $2,500 credit towards your new home purchase. Explore SmithDouglas.com. Smith Douglas, where it's your home, your choice within reach.
Hey, folks, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Folks, this is your last week, your last chance to sign up for the program over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center to save 20%. Contact them now, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com and use the promo code LOSEIT when you sign up. That way you can save 20%. That deal runs out on Friday, December 19th, so take advantage of it right now. Give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone call. Figure out if the program is the right thing for you. Bring any questions and health concerns that you might have, and decide if you want to go forward with the program. I've lost over 40 pounds, 42 pounds to be exact, with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've done that in 4 months. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or 919-897-7506. Use the promo code LOSEIT to save 20%. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The winner for today gets a family 4-pack of tickets to see, a family 4-pack of Fandango tickets to see Avatar, Fire and Ash at a participating movie theater near you, courtesy of 20th Century Studios. We have Derek in Raleigh and Lee in Apex ready to play. As always, we'll bring each of them onto the air, ask them the same question. Max will be our judge for today. He'll decide which answer he likes the best, and that person will get to go first. Derek and Raleigh, can you hear me?
I can.
All right. The question for today, with it being a Monday, is what was the highlight of your weekend? But because we're a sports show, make sure it somehow relates to sports.
Yeah. I'll say that the highlight of my weekend was probably the 2 Canes wins.
Okay.
In extra time. They needed some wins pretty bad, and so seeing those come through was pretty big.
All right. Derek, you are locked in with the 2 shootout wins for the Carolina Hurricanes over Philly. We'll go to Lee in Apex. Lee, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Same question to you. With it being a Monday, what was the highlight of your weekend? But because we're a sports show, make sure you keep it sports-related somehow.
I'm going to say the Bills come back over the Patriots to put Drake May in his place. Need to settle that guy down a little bit.
All right. 2 rushing touchdowns didn't excite you at all?
No, I'm a Wolfpack guy.
All right. I respect it. Fandom runs deep. So there you go, Max. You get to choose between a Derek and Raleigh answer, which was the Canes wins, both shootouts, or the Lee answer, which was the Bills come back over the Pats to put that darn Tar Heel in his place.
I mean, look, the Canes
Emphasis
wins.
Mine. That wasn't actually how Lee said it.
The Canes wins were electric. I mean, I was a fan of that as well, but I always love somebody taking some time to make sure that they hate on their school's rival no matter what. So we'll go with Lee on this one.
I saw somebody asking and this is like a viral, who knows if it was real or not, but they were asking if like on ESPN app or on some of these sports like score update apps, if you could set your favorites and also your non-favorites. So your favorites, you'd get an update every time the score changes or whatever, but your non-favorites just when they like throw an interception.
That's a really good idea, actually.
Or like if they, have a dumb penalty that costs them points, like then you get the notification. So you don't know the good stuff, only the bad stuff your non-favorites do. Not a bad business idea if you can pull it off. So what does that mean? That means Lee and Apex gets to go first. All right, Lee, you get to go first. Are you ready to pick a category?
Yes.
All right, the categories are NFL players whose names would score big in Scrabble, NFL players who have mid-December birthdays, NBA players that were born south of the equator, or NHL Hurricanes only.
I'm going to go NFL Big Scrabble.
Okay, these are names that would score big in Scrabble. And if you stick around till the end, everybody, I'll tell you how many points they would score in Scrabble. I'll give you the name of the player and the team. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock, one pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Quentin Johnston, Los Angeles Chargers.
1.
Correct. Brandon Ayuk, San Francisco 49ers.
11.
Correct. Zach Bond, Philadelphia Eagles.
Pass.
Juwan Johnson, New Orleans Saints.
84.
Incorrect. Daxton Hill, Cincinnati Bengals.
31.
Incorrect. Zach Bond, Philadelphia Eagles. So you got 2. Took a little bit of time trying to guess Juwan Johnson, but 2. Leader in the clubhouse. Stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up. In the meantime, for those of you playing at home, Quentin Johnston 1, Ayuk 11, Zach Bond 53, Juwan Johnson 83, so he was close. He went with 84 there. And Daxton Hill 23. And for those of you that are big Scrabble fans, Quentin Johnston 30 points in Scrabble. Q's, J's, big ones. Brandon Ayuk 21, Zach Bond 21, Juwan Johnson 23 points in Scrabble, and Daxton Hill 26 points in Scrabble. That is the little fun fact there. That brings us to Derek and Raleigh. Derek, can you hear me?
I can.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players with mid-December birthdays, NBA players born south of the equator, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
We'll take NFL mid-December birthdays.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need at least 3 for the win. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jaden Daniels, Washington Commanders.
5.
Correct. Brock Bowers, Las Vegas Raiders.
89.
Correct. Reggie White, Carolina Panthers.
11?
Incorrect. David Johnson, Arizona Cardinals.
20.
Incorrect. Reggie White, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Rodney Harrison, New England Patriots.
88.
Incorrect. David Johnson, Arizona Cardinals.
14.
Incorrect. Reggie White, Carolina Panthers.
16.
Incorrect. Rodney Harrison, New.
84.
I thought you were cruising through 2, but that's where it ends. Unfortunately, not enough for the win. Tie goes to whoever goes first, but hopefully you had some fun.
Yep.
All right. Appreciate it. For those of you playing at home, Daniels 5, Bowers 89, Reggie White, say it with me, 92, David Johnson 31, Rodney Harrison 37, the numbers we were looking for. But either way, that means Lee and Apex, you are the winner. Lee, congratulations.
All right. Thanks a lot.
There you go. Stay on the line. Max will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your prize. Which, by the way, is a family 4-pack of Fandango tickets to see Avatar, Fire and Ash at a participating theater near you, courtesy of 20th Century Studios. And I can tell you, people around the office, they want that prize. They were asking if they were allowed to call in and play. Obviously, they can't, right, if you're employed here. But they wanted them. They wanted those tickets. You got a family 4-pack. Take you and some friends, maybe you and some local radio employees, if you can track down the ones that were asking about it here. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. And Miller Lending is the home of the no-cost loan, the no-closing cost loan. However you want to word it, what it means is flexibility. What it means is interest rates go up and down. They're hard to predict, but what you can predict is if rates drop, you're going to want to refi, and you're not going to want to take a whole bunch of money out of your pocket to do so. So you should keep Miller Lending's number in your phone. Here's the thing. They're trying to build a relationship, right? A lot of lenders, buy a house, perfect, got you signed, sealed, there you go, move on, never to talk to you again. Miller Lending, on the other hand, they hope that rates drop over and over and over again, and you get to keep calling and keep setting up no-cost loans, keep refinancing to keep lowering your monthly payment with as little money out of your pocket as possible, right? If you have questions about how can they do that, but that's not what so-and-so, give them a call, right? I keep telling people, Miller Lending wants to build a relationship and with you, right? And what that means is they'll answer your calls. They'll answer your calls locally, by the way. They're owned right here in Cary. But they'll also answer your questions. So give them a call about the no-cost loan, no closing costs. How do you do it? You could start there. 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. When we come back, more Canes talk. 4-game win streak, 3-game shootout win streak. I almost said that the right way. They're winning a lot. Brandon Bussey's playing really well. Stick around.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
I think we can officially say the 8th overall pick for the Carolina Panthers was a success. Dan Morgan knew what he was doing. Teteroa McMillan only needed one catch to change the game against the Rams, and they need to continue to work to give him more opportunities to change the game in the future. He is a difference maker. They need him to make a difference.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, it's Paul Eihander from 99.9 The Fan for the Butcher's Market. And the holidays are here, and if you're looking for the perfect gift, I've got you covered. A membership to the Butcher's Market Steak of the Month Club. You'll get a different hand-cut steak every month for 6 months. Some serious holiday sizzle. And there's more to celebrate. The Butcher's Market was just awarded the North Carolina Small Business Retailer of the Year. With 5 Triangle locations, it's easy to shop local this season. Visit thebutchersmarkets.com. That's thebutchersmarkets.com.
This year, give them a gift that helps them make the shelf, not a gift that ends up collecting dust on one. During Lowe's December deal drops, get 2 free Select DeWalt tools when you buy a Select DeWalt 5 amp hour battery kit. Plus, all rewards members get free standard shipping. Shop December deal drops today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/17. While supplies last. Free shipping excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Subject to change. Visit Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details.
You know how to tell that you've picked a great gift? When you love to get it yourself. Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here with a great idea. Give Buffalo Brothers gift cards. Whenever I'm back in the Triangle, I make a beeline for Buffalo Brothers to get my wing fix, and it's my go-to spot for gifts and stocking stuffers. Now through December 24th, buy a $40 gift card for someone special and get a $10 gift card for you. Now that's a deal, baby! Visit any of their 5 Triangle locations and buffbrothers.com. Aw, man! Now I want wings!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have Panther Talk today, correct? Panther Talk, 6 o'clock. Here, if you want. If it can be explained away. I don't know if it can be explained away, but hear what happened. Panthers lost to the Saints over the weekend. All the insight, you'll hear from, obviously, Anish Shroff, the voice of the Panthers, but also Dave Canales on what went wrong in that one and how they plan to fix it for a crucial 3-game stretch to end the season. Also, tune back in tomorrow at 4:45. We'll have more of the 10 days of CanesMas. There are just 4 days left. So day number 7 of the 10 days of CanesMas will be tomorrow at 4:45. We gave away a Rod Brindamore signed hockey puck today, just to get that's what the kind of stuff we're giving.
Has anybody won our penny hockey game yet?
Penny hockey game. We have one. I don't know. There might be 2 in there. But I know one of them has been given away.
I was hoping it was still hanging around the office. I could have a chance to get my lick back.
Well, it's not that easy. Not that easy at all.
Clearly not.
We have the little popper basketball we can play.
Oh, we could play that too. Yeah.
Okay, you know.
We should play that on air. That would make for good radio.
It's not that great. Either way, the 10 Days of CanesMas, which picks back up again tomorrow, presented by Hardee's. Cozy up to the goodness of Hardee's new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich, and it's also presented by Surfside Vodka. Whether you're watching hockey or warming up by the fire, there's nothing better than enjoying your favorite Surfside canned cocktail to keep the good times going. CanesMas. Merry CanesMas to you all. Speaking of the Canes, they won a couple of them over the weekend. Beat Philly at their place, beat Philly at the Canes' place. They did beat Philly in shootouts all over the place. First of all, there was competing like best parts of the weekend. One of them, Brandon Bussey. The other, I would say, seeing Jacob Slavin back out there on the ice. Here's Rod Brindamore after the Sunday game where Slavin made his first appearance in months on seeing Slavin back on the ice.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously we have to ease him back, and that's hard to do too. But yeah, I mean, it's been a long time without him, and nice to get him back, and hopefully up to speed here, in the near future.
And he showed up and immediately started doing Slavin things, which, the block shot right in front of the net. That's actually as like super obvious that Jacob Slavin's impact is, because traditionally. The thing that I say about Slavin when I'm trying to describe him to, say, fans of another team, or when they're getting ready for like a Four Nations or an Olympics and people are starting to understand why he's so hyped, is I go like he takes the air out of the other team before the balloon even inflates. It's like, oh, they got a 2-on-1. It's over. Never mind. It's going the other way. Right? It doesn't even get to like the high leverage chance. It's just they got him out of position. Never mind. He got his stick on the puck and it's in the corner. Like it just eliminates it early. So those, like, you almost don't recognize them sometimes because it never becomes the moment where you need the highlight. And he just does that so darn often. And he, they're easing him into it, as you heard Rod Brindamore say. So 14 minutes, I'd expect that to just go up a little bit at a time each time he's out there until eventually he's back to his normal workload. The other good thing, right? I said there was like competing best things. One was Slavin back on the ice. The other, Brandon Bussey. Here's Brindamore on the I got to stop calling him the young goaltender because he's 27. Right, he's older than Pyotr Kochetkov, who's been in our lives for years now. But the new to the Canes system goaltender, Brandon Bussey, has now won 11 of his first 12 appearances, and he's playing really good hockey. And here's Rod Brindamore talking about Bussey with the key saves.
Not so much early. I thought we had a really good 2 periods. We didn't get enough, leeway, enough lead in there, and then obviously they got the late one. But I thought in the third period, especially, he was. Like you said, countless really, really timely saves, and obviously in the shootout. I don't know, that's pretty impressive.
That's what you want out of a goalie, right? Like, we played great for 2 periods in front of him. We were not giving up a lot of shots, definitely not giving up a lot of good shots, and we were doing the heavy lifting. But in the third period, things changed. We needed to make some saves, and he did that. That's what you want out of a goalie. Do you know what's a real bummer? Brandon Bussey doesn't qualify as a rookie because of his age. It's dumb. Stupid. But I saw this on Twitter, it's not my stat, so, hat tip to whoever found it. If he were allowed to be a rookie, no rookie goaltender has won 10 games in a row since 1974. 74!
I would, unfortunately, it depends how long he can go on this streak, but I'm pretty sure Wallstedt for Minnesota is also a rookie because he's only played 5 total games. Like, he's played a couple NHL games, which is a handful. And he's leading the NHL in goals against average and save percentage. So I think even then, unfortunately, he'd be beat out in terms of goaltenders for like Calder consideration. But
if either of them keep up the current pace they're on, they will have won.
Yeah,
but
it's not to downplay what Brandon Bussey is doing at all, by the way. Because when's the last time we've seen a Canes goaltender that's kind of been this dominant, or it's just been so steady, really, and reliable, other than maybe the first season of Frederik Andersen?
Yeah, we've seen stretches. We've obviously not 10 in a row, but we've seen goalies play well. If he can do this most of the time, it's a game changer for the Carolina Hurricanes. It truly is. And 12 games, I keep asking where's the threshold? I keep asking at what point do you just believe it and not think like, oh, he's off to a really hot start. At what point is it just, no, he's a really good goalie? I'm not sure where that is, but if he gets there and passes, it's huge for the Carolina Hurricanes. First of all, you start thinking about how much it'll cost. But that allows you to go do other things, right? If you believe this is Brandon Bussi or some level close to it is Brandon Bussi, when you get to the postseason, he's your guy and you have two pretty experienced safety nets. And obviously Freddie Anderson, super experienced, but even Piotr has played in some big games. Like you have some pretty experienced safety nets. Perhaps you can go spend on something else. And you can increase your team that way. Svech said it after the game. Once you're confident in a goalie, the game's it's easier. It comes easy, I think is how he put it, which is 100% true, right? You play a little bit more free. Not saying you give up dumb stuff, but you're just a hint more confident, and confidence is wildly contagious in the locker room. Now we get to the fun stuff. Rod Brindamore was asked about one of my favorite topics, not because I enjoy the actual topic, but because we've had this conversation 1,000 times. He was asked if the top guys need to be a little bit more selfish with the puck. This is what Rod Brindamore had to say.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I mean, we kind of fell in that trap because they block so many shots, right? They hunker in there and they don't give you the great look, but sometimes the okay look will create the good look, and we were looking for that special one and really didn't come.
The Canes are an oxymoron in that way. They don't always make sense in my brain. And here's why I say that. They routinely finish near the top or at the top of like NHL certain statistics on shot attempts. And also when I watch them, I go, they're being way too precious. They're passing up too many shot attempts for searching for the next best shot attempt. I still think their top guys can be more selfish. It's almost like I need them to understand how good they are. I need them to understand that small windows they can score in, right? I need them to understand that they're talented enough that those shots are not bad shots when they take them. And maybe, right, they could give Brandon Bussi a little, or whoever's in goal, Pyotr Kochetkov, a little bit more, a little bit more run support, as they say. You know what I mean? I mean, because if you look at, even the 3-game little win streak they're on with the shootouts, it's 2-2 going into overtime. It's 3-2 going into overtime. It's 2-2 going into overtime. If 3 goals shouldn't be that crazy for how much talent they have at forward and how much, quite frankly, scoring pop they have on the blue line as well.
No, yeah. I mean, the Saturday game in Philly, they take the lead, and then the unfortunate, pinch, and then they get the odd man rush, and Philly tied it up almost immediately after. And even Tuesday before the streak of shootouts, when they had the last home anniversary game against Columbus, it was 1-1 going into the third, and then they wrote a great third period to an easy win, and that was another game where Bussi was fantastic again in the crease. So would like to see a few more goals get in. Would like to see Aho get on the board. I think he's gone 5 games in a row now with no points, so you got to have your number one center producing a little bit more. I don't know if he's quite looked himself. He might be dealing with something. And I'm sure he's going to get it back on track here, but you just need a little more production from that top line, and then everything's really going to be cooking with oil, gas, and gravy, as they say.
The 2 skaters that I think are most interesting to talk about outside of Slavin due to return from the injury are Aho, right? And the like you said, like just whatever's going on there, and Nikishin, because of the way he oscillates between flashing the goodness gracious ability and kind of going into the doghouse and not playing. And
yeah, he got benched at the end of that Saturday game because of the pinch that led to the game-tying goal for Philly.
And he scored, which is like you're seeing both ends of his ability and his youth and this and that. Those two, Aho and Nikishin, are 2 of the more interesting skaters to talk about on this team. And I guarantee you we will, because they don't play again until Wednesday. So maybe we'll do some of that talking tomorrow. This has been a fun edition of The Drive. Please subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan, for more Canes talk, more Panthers talk, more college basketball, college football, the whole run of it. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. I'm not sure if we got to 21,000 subscribers. If we have or we haven't, we still want more. So we're within a stone's throw.
We have hit 21,000.
All right, let's go for 22,000, everybody. Keep that train, that rocket ship going straight up. So thank you to everybody that subscribes, but tell a friend. Also, download the 99.9 The Fan app. Similar deal there. We're trying to build a community. We want it to kind of be, from all angles, however you consume your content. So 99.9 The Fan, the app. Panther Talk is coming up next. Insight into the loss to the Saints and this last push towards the postseason. So stick around for that coming up in just a couple of minutes here on 99.9. Thank you to Max for sitting in for Dennis today. We have you again tomorrow, right? So we'll be me and Max again tomorrow. We'll see you then. Have a great night, everybody.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find